Here we go. It's 2026, everybody. Yes. What a great time to be alive, everybody, huh? 2026. Hope everybody had a great holiday, great new year. We were just talking about it behind the scenes here. We're going to talk a little bit about it right now as everybody kind of shuffles in. Please let everybody know that we are live here in New York, 7 p.m. Eastern time. A little late, but not too bad. Not too bad to start January. I was telling everybody that I had fallen a little bit under the weather and just coming out of it and rebounding now, but still a little, still not 100% Mooch yet. So we're probably at about 85%, which for you guys and your eardrums, that's a good thing. That's a good thing for you guys. All right? While you guys are here listening to this fantastic intro I've got for you guys, hit that like button a couple of times, will you? I know it only allows you to do it once, but I like to think you can do it more than that. And also, right above that outstanding description is the join button. Let's start 2026 with absolute fireworks and becoming part of the Mooch Maniac family members. I truly appreciate it. One of the things that I said to you guys in 25 was I really wanted to start streaming, and I've enjoyed that. We're going to get into it with the panel in a second about the games we've been playing over the holiday. And then we'll get into the week's news and some of the great rumors that have been coming out in the past 48 hours. But I have been over on twitch.tv religiously. We've been doing at least Mondays and Saturdays and then sneaking in a third day. Sometimes it was a Tuesday, sometimes it was a Sunday morning stream. But we've been doing 2-3 days a week over there, like I said, religiously for the past 5-6 weeks now. Shout out to Blaze 4K and Lazy Vibes as well. Those guys have been with me over there on Ark Raiders. We're going to be switching it over some Dying Light the Beast, some Battlefield 6. We are going to be switching it up. But I do encourage you guys to go over there and follow Mooch on that channel as well. It is active. We've had quite a showing. It's been a ton of fun. I love talking video games, but the only thing better than talking video games is playing video games. So we're playing games over there, and we're doing it 2-3 times a week. It is worth your time and effort to go over there and click on that button. I highly doubt you will be disappointed. That being said, shout out to Rob Jones. I see the great Lady Games 1980. Shout out to Dawn. Neil Augusto, who's been talking to me over the holiday. Richard Wood, great to see Richard. Silver Wolf is here. Rob, is that Rob Jones? They changed all the names here for some reason on YouTube, so I apologize if I'm calling some names out that aren't there. But please do tweet it out, let everybody know that we are live. But I'll go through this outstanding panel. Let me start with the one and only. You guys know him as The Mag. The Mag Show, everybody. Honestly, Mag, great to have you on the show tonight, buddy. And I want to say thank you, a personal thank you for saying, hey, you know what? I can come out and talk some news tonight with you, Mooch.
Sure,
it's the start of the year. Why not, right? And Mag, you're the only person, and I follow everyone in the community, I shouldn't say the only, but one of the only, has outstanding content. News drops, and before I can even get to YouTube, you've already got a 5 to 10 minute video out. I don't know, and I know you work very hard, by the way. I'm not going to reveal anything, but I'll tell you right now, Mag works very hard, okay? He's got a family, the whole nine. This guy's got a video out as news breaks. So, Mag, I don't know if you brought your entire set, your YouTube set, to the kitchen. I don't know what you did, but I'm glad you're doing it. Mag, welcome back to the show, buddy. 2026 couldn't be the same without you. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. And you know what's funny? I was actually thinking about you the other day. I know that's going to sound weird for some people. Some people.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
He was stroking his poster of you.
I think, come on. Nib, can we start 2026 on the right foot, Nib?
Here comes
he was like Grok, undressed Mooch.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Yeah, here we go. Episode 7 of Stranger Things. Anyhow. Listen, I was thinking about you the other day, and I was thinking to myself, I go, what the hell happened to Mooch? I'm like, I haven't seen a CrossFire, no notification, so I actually checked it, because what's been happening lately with a lot of people, they're not getting their notifications on YouTube.
That's right.
Some of their accounts get changed to private, that kind of thing, right? And of course, I deal with that on my channel, which
that's right. Same here.
Temporarily fixed, because I emailed Google and gave him crap and showed him some screenshots and stuff. Yeah, and they fixed that. However, that being said, and then all of a sudden you reach out to me and you're like, hey, you want to be on the show? I'm like, of course I want to be on the show. I haven't talked to you in a while. But anyways, I hope your New Year's was good and your Christmas was good and the holiday and all that. And listen, I was begging for some news. It was one of those things where you're reaching out to the gaming gods and you're like, guys, come on, man, something.
Give me
Someone
something.
Cancel a game. Do something. Please.
Somebody do something.
And then all of a sudden, now news starts dropping like crazy. And you know what? This is going to be a hell of a monumental year across the gaming industry. So I'm so excited for it. Can't wait to see what's coming up for this year and how everything is going to turn out. So anyways, we got things to talk about. Let's get into it.
I appreciate it, Meg. And I agree with you on that same sentiment. And just to answer your question, when you said, geez, I wasn't getting any notifications, we did decide to take the 2 weeks off. I was going to come back and do something January 1st or 2nd. And I said, there's just no news. And I said, I don't know how interested the audience is. And even now, yes, we have news that's trickling in, but like it isn't that same blockbuster news that I think we're going to start seeing as the weeks, keep continuing on through January. So I completely get it, but I'm glad that you're here with us, Meg. The great Nib is with us as well. Nib, outstanding to have you here with us to start 2026 as well. We got into a great chat before about games we were playing, things, kind of how we felt about still single player, how we were having some fatigue in this world and fatigue in that, and how we're ready for new games as we go into January. But Nib, before we get into that, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, good. Very good. It was a good Christmas and New Year. Put on loads of weight.
Yes, I hear you. I hear you.
It's good food, but yeah, it was a good time. But just getting back into gaming. But like you were saying, I don't know if you want to get into it in the show, but yeah, like I don't know if you guys ever get this, but as much as gaming is my primary hobby, sometimes you get like gaming fatigue where you've played so much, in such a high concentration, you just need to detox. And so I was catching up with my shows. Obviously, you mentioned as well Stranger Things, and then I watched Pluribus and a bunch of
I'm
other
all caught
stuff.
up on everything you just said. Fallout, Pluribus, everything. I've watched everything.
Same. Witcher. Watched Witcher.
Everything.
As well.
Witcher. I'm literally. I'm so caught up on everything, Nib, that I went back and you guys are now. The audience is going to love this. I went back and started watching. I'm on season 6 of The Walking Dead. I went back to The Walking Dead. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I did a similar thing. Out of curiosity, though, what was your favorite of all the shows or seasons or whatever that you watched?
So I want to say this, and I don't know if the audience will agree with me, but I would say it was Pluribus, and the reason being is I feel that show has so much that it can build on. Will they do it or will they let us down? That's to be told. But where they left off and where we can go with this, I love the infinite possibilities. I really, really do. And of course, that's that's tribute to what is it? Vince Gullick? Is it Gulligan or something like that? Anyway, the gentleman who did Breaking Bad, he did the same thing with these cliffhangers at the end of seasons where you just wanted more.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, I honestly think Pluribus is one of the most creative and intriguing shows I've ever watched. I do mean that, ever watched, because it's such. I don't even want to tell you the audience what it's about.
I know.
Because you can't. And the thing is, I had a bit of a funny feeling because friends were saying, watch it. And I was like, well, what's it about? And they were like, we can't say anything, just watch it. And I was like, just give me a basic synopsis. They're like, no, we can't even give you that.
We can't. It's difficult to sell that one. I will say the thing I think that makes it most interesting, and by the way, this is not giving away anything, nothing at all. They reveal this in the first or second episode. It's part of the show. Is the fact that they handcuff themselves and they say that they cannot hurt the 11, or is it the 11 or the 12?
The 12,
they are not allowed to hurt. They're not allowed to hurt anything, not a living animal, not this and that. Now, there are caveats, which I'm not going to talk about because those caveats do lead to certain plot twists. So I'm not going to talk about that. But the way that they've built this infrastructure and how they're working around it and how it's wild. It is wild. So I like that intrigue. We haven't had a show, whether it's Witcher or it's Fallout or it's even Walking Dead. We haven't had an actual TV show that makes you think, right, for a long time or ponder or wonder what's going to happen next.
I think for me as well, the thing is, it's all about relatability and self-reflection, right? Because your thing is, okay, in that kind of a situation, which one am I going to be? Am I going to take advantage? Am I going to... I know. I can't even get into it. But like, humanity is fucked up, right? We are... There's certain things like, how much of what do we deserve? And even if we lose autonomy, is it better to have peace and whatever, this and all these other things? Right. Especially if you can personally gain in that situation. Or is freedom above all else?
Nib, you know what I would ask the audience if they're going to watch this show afterwards is, how long did you stick with Carol's thought process before you did what Nib just said and you thought about is going with true peace and this and that and working together for a common goal actually how a lot of people, I wonder how many people, or would you or would you take Carol's sense where it's Carol has that old school vibe of everything needs to go back to free will and the way we live today, right? You know what I mean? That thought process. So It's interesting because your brain pattern and your thought process, I think, changes internally as you watch the show. Now, that doesn't mean you don't go back to Carol's thought, but you will change your mind a few times, and I wonder where you'll land towards the end of the season.
Exactly. And the thing is, there have been, like, throughout history, people who have wanted even the shogunate, right, in feudal Japanese times. The idea was to, like, combine all houses under one to stop conflict, right?
Yep.
But it's wrought with, corruption and controversy and this and that, and people are just flawed. But this is not like that. This is actually a pure version of that, a pure vision.
That's right.
Of unity, and like,
I've never really seen it put forth in this fashion. Not on film. I mean, you could say in books, yes. I haven't seen it on film.
No, I agree.
But that's great. Honestly, geez, now I want to do a pluribus show. We might have to do that when season 2 kicks off. Shout out to the great Death Singer who's here. Death Singer, you had said you did something very similar to what I did. You ended up spending a lot of the holiday, which, I mean, I have almost 140 hours, I was just telling Nib, on Ark Raiders. Between that, Warzone, Battlefield 6, played a lot of multiplayer. Death Singer, you did something similar. What was the reason? You didn't want to get single-player game fatigue early? Is that the reason? And how are you this evening, by the way, Death Singer? I kind of jumped right into a question.
Well, I mean, my entire year was just stacked full of long RPGs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every time it's a good year for RPGs, I generally use the end of the year as like let's take a break. Let me enjoy some multiplayer. Let me chat with the boys in the Discord because they're always going to be there. And, it's Christmas and New Year and everyone's going to be in there and it's going to be a fun party time. People will grab some drinks and just chop it up and play some multiplayer. So it's kind of like, let me relax, especially considering, like, there's 3 games in January that I want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 3 in February, and they're all RPGs. So I need that break between what happened.
Which RPGs?
Year. Well, actually, I can answer that right now. So, in January, I got Code Vein.
Okay, you are going to play Code Vein. All right.
Of course, I love Code Vein. Code Vein 2 is great. Arknight's Enfield. The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon. That's January.
Okay.
And then February, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. Goated game, by the way. And then I also have East 10, Proud Nordics.
Okay.
And Tales of Berseria Remastered.
No Resident Evil?
No.
Oh, that's
get out of this show right now.
Yeah, was this Meg? Oh my God! Death Singer. I think Death Singer almost does this deliberately. He's like, I'm going to be the bad guy.
Deliberately.
Yes.
I don't.
Well, imagine just.
It's like a lot of people love all these mainline games, but
what you described to me, Death Singer, is going to like 6 different burger joints, but ordering a burger every time.
No, but all the burgers are different, but it's like
okay, but it's not as much as a different meal, a different genre.
Like these grounded, more reality-based games that are more grounded in like what we have now. It's just I've gone off that. I just prefer fantasy with the swords, dragons, castles. Just go.
I haven't seen zombies walking around except for California, the fentanyl zombies. But
no.
Yeah, I know.
No, but the more realistic.
I know. I'm just.
That's great, man.
Yeah. So the more reality setting, and it's just kind of like my vibe right now. My vibe over the past couple of years has been more like fantasy, high fantasy, dark fantasy. All the fantasies, all the different types you can find. And that's also what I've been watching. Like, I've been watching tons of anime. And there's been some fantastic shows, and that's my same thing there. I'm all into the fantasy, and you'd know this, because I've been over this on Shout Out to Scumcast. It was always a big thing for me. And, of course, all those games fulfill what I want out of a game right now. Because I like Resident Evil, but I know if I play that, I'm just not going to stick with it. So I'm like, you know what?
Really?
I'll just put down the back burner and I'll play like Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. Because it's like, this is my jam. So that's just the way it goes right now.
Well, you're supposed to make, listen, and Detzinger, I like the way you put it there, and I'm going to make a New Year's resolution here. I said I was going to do it towards the end of last year, and I did to a certain extent, but I didn't do a great job of it. So on the air, I'm going to tell everybody, I'm going to take what Nib said to heart. Nib says, Mooch, you got to play one. I'm going to attack one game at a time as far as single-player games. That doesn't mean I'm not going to, go between Warzone and Ark Raiders or Battlefield 6 or something like that. That's different. I don't think he means that. But he definitely does mean it in the single-player context. That's my 2026 resolution, is to try and make it so that I don't jump from single-player. So I'm taking every month pretty seriously. There's a lot of great games that are coming out in January. But nothing really. The only thing really that kind of satisfied a little bit was Code Vein 2. But I never really played Code Vein 1. I just like that it's a Souls-esque type of game. I like that. And it's always intriguing.
It is.
But
you like that. Thing is,
Neo 3's coming out, I think, in February.
You see, here's the thing, right? So this year is just so stacked. Now, obviously, Code Vein is Souls-like with anime girls, waifus, right?
That's right.
That makes sense now. That makes
Nib, you got it now? Yeah, there it
is. Code Vein has always been that. If this is news to you, you clearly don't care about Code Vein, or you ain't paying attention.
Well, I'm saying I know why you prioritized it now.
Well, no,
you have a sock nearby you the whole time.
Oh, I do, and I have mods on standby. No, but like the thing is Code Vein was always made fun of because it was like the anime. The waifu Souls game.
Yeah.
Not like the proper Dark Souls, but it's genuinely a good game. The combat's good. The mechanics are good.
Right.
The physics are good.
Yeah. but the thing is, people are put off because it's essentially anime girls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you gay? No. But you know.
Oh, Detzinger.
That's a joke. But,
you can't uncancel yourself now. You're done.
That's right.
And the thing is, Code Vein, we all assumed it was never getting a sequel because it didn't sell particularly well. It really didn't. Like, it wasn't a successful game. And then when they announced Code Vein 2, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
You having a second go at it? Okay.
Well, that proves budget versus what it actually did was better than we thought. It has to. You're not going to greenlight something that was that tanked, the budget. I mean, I would think.
I didn't think there was that much demand for a sequel. I mean, people who played it loved it, but
I will agree with you on that. But I mean, there had to have been. And I watched a bunch of you know how every big channel did like a what's coming out in 2026 thing. And I watched a bunch of them, and a lot of people were also surprised. So Detzinger, you're not alone. A lot of people didn't think that, even though it had underground success, like it was kind of like a niche success, they didn't think it had enough success to warrant a sequel. And here we are. So apparently it did. And from what I heard, they went big. I'm hearing Code Vein 2 is massive compared to the first one. Going to be a much more elaborate game. More in depth.
It's looking like they hugely improved it.
It's a big leap.
So I'm assuming they're sticking with this series now, and I'm here for it because a bigger, better version of the first one. You could tell the first one was made with a bit of a budget, right?
Absolutely.
It's kind of linear, not really open.
Correct.
But this one, clearly, it looks like, right, we're actually going to put our best foot forward. So I hope it all the success in the world because, it's so great. Well, nothing like it.
I agree with you, Destiny. Let me introduce the great D Batch who's with us tonight. D, 2026, starting out with D Batch. You know that's going to be a good year right away. D, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I got to be honest with you. In my business this year, it's a lot of gloom and doom, man.
Oh, no.
Well, because I build PCs, right? So
yes, parts, that's right.
The parts are going crazy. And like towards the end of last year, I realized that stuff was kind of dwindling. So I started to get some new stuff. And when I saw the prices of the RAM, even on the back end, I was like, what the hell is going on?
That's right.
And then I had to get a few because I had to get them, whatever. And I said, okay, I got to get a couple of hard drives too, some SSDs. And when I looked at the prices of the SSDs, those went up too. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And then I'm talking to my suppliers, and they're like, listen, we've done business with you for a long time. We're always straight up with you. We're not trying to sell you stuff. But if you need stuff, you better get it now.
Get it now.
Because the next thing that's going up are your GPUs. Your GPUs, they're gonna go up. They don't know what batch that they're gonna get that's gonna be higher, but they've already been told on their end that the price is going up.
I'm glad I upgraded my PC early in 25. By the way, I'm saying that as Monday morning quarterback. When I upgraded it, I was not happy about the cost then, but now I'm seeing the new numbers and I'm happy now. But I mean that's who would have forecasted that? Shout out to the great, you know what I mean? Shout out to the great Donnell Brown. Thanks for the first overall pick. Donnell Brown, I don't want to hear that. The Giants might be getting John Harbaugh, by the way, but we'll talk about sports another night. Shout out to Donnell. But yeah, D, honestly, I still think you're going to do well this year. I still think you're going to do well, to be honest with you.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. Oh, please tell.
I also sell televisions.
Oh.
And now they're telling me that the prices are probably going to go up as well. Because guess what? Televisions need RAM too.
Oh my god! I didn't even think about that.
I can't make this shit up, man. Like it's crazy. I'm telling you right now. I don't care what anybody says. If you want to build a PC, get it now.
Hurry up.
If you're waiting for the next gen Xbox, it's a PC. Just get a damn PC now.
Just do it now. I agree.
If you've been on the fence for a PlayStation 5, if you want to upgrade from a PlayStation 4 to a PlayStation 5,
do it now.
You better do it now. Well, I don't know if they still have the $100 off because I know they had it over the holidays. $100 off the PlayStation 5.
They did,
and the PlayStation 5 Pro. That was probably the best time to get it. If not, now's the second best time to get it because I think that Sony, from what I've heard and on the supply side, that Sony allocated RAM for 2026, so they're okay for this year. But I don't know. I guess that's going to be dependent on how many consoles they sell. Maybe towards the end of the year, maybe early 2027, we could see an increase in prices for the PlayStation 5 for the consoles. I don't think it's as eminent as what we're seeing on the PC market because they do have some stock that's allocated, right? So they have RAM that's allocated. But if this stays the same way and they have to get RAM to build in their systems, they're going to be paying higher prices, even if they're bulk. If you put into account their discount bulk deal, they're still going to be paying more. So, consoles could potentially go up in the future too. So it's a crazy time for gaming and for hardware and tech in general.
D, let's talk about dates real quick because this was one of my topics I had for us. I said RAM prices are soaring from AI data centers, etc. How will this impact? So you said buy now, but to give people a forecast, D, in your opinion, when will these skyrocketing prices? I apologize. I told everybody I was a little under the weather still. Skyrocketing prices, when will they take effect in 26? Is it something we can see after June? Is it towards the end of the year, or is it as early as spring?
February, March.
Wow.
To see
okay, that's when you'll see PC prices jump.
You're going to see it in the GPUs. Like I said, we're already seeing SSDs. I was surprised with SSDs. That one, the RAM, I kind of knew because like crap, you see it everywhere, right? And I ran out. I had to get some. But the SSDs took me by surprise. Like, I'll give you an example. An SSD, like a 1 terabyte, I don't want to say the back. So let's just say retail. Retail, I don't know, $100, $110 you can find a 1 terabyte. You ain't finding a 1 terabyte good drive for anything less than 180 Canadian dollars. So you could translate that into American. It's a substantial increase. I'm even seeing 512 gigabyte SSDs going for like 100 Canadian dollars. I don't know. That's like maybe 70 US dollars.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for just 512 gigabytes, right? And you're gonna get scalpers, unfortunately, because I don't know, man. Nvidia is saying that they're gonna produce 40 to 60% less GPUs this year. My God. And we know they're doing that to send all their shit to to all the AI data centers. So, once again, that's going to open the door for scalpers, supply and demand. It's just not going to be a good time to build hardware. We heard Asus just announced last week that they're unfortunately going to have to raise their prices. And the Xbox ROG Ally is going to go up in price and other products
as well. That's right.
Stack. So, it's just not a good time. So if you see a good deal now,
grab it.
Something that you want to get, just grab it. I think it's going to, I don't even want to put my opinions in it. I'm just going to tell you what I've been told from people that have more experience than me up in the chain, right? Mm-hmm. And they're basically telling me that mid 2027, it should stabilize. And, 2028, they should have worked everything out, and the prices should be stable at that point.
Yeah, but that's a large enough gap of time, D, that people that are getting into gaming or upgrading, that's a long duration right there. You know what I mean? That's not a... You know, just wait 3 months. No, till there's a sale. That doesn't work that way. You know, and so shout out to the people in the chat here. Shout out to Gamer Boy. He says, "What's up, Mooch and panel?" He goes, "I have a few months left on my PC warranty. I hope it survives because I can't afford to replace the RAM and GPU." The Gaming Ledger says, "Happy New Year. 2026 is going to be a generational year for games," which we're going to talk about soon, Gaming Ledger. There's something for everyone, even Death Singer. Well, we'll find out about that, won't we? And go ahead, D.
No, I just want to respond to the first guy who said should he get a warranty on his PC. To be honest,
he said he only has a few months left. He said he only has a few months left on his PC warranty.
It's so hard to break a PC. You gotta physically break a PC.
You have to throw the PC.
Their components are meant for wear and tear, for heat. They're very durable. You got to throw water on it. You got to put your RAM in wrong. You know, you got to take it out wrong and break the pins. Mm-hmm. So as long as you leave your setup the way it is,
just leave it alone.
You know,
yeah,
just leave it alone. You'll be fine.
What about CPUs and motherboards? Do you hear anything on those price increases or no?
No, as of now, no. So what's gonna happen? Wow, we're doing a lot of PC stuff today.
We have D-Batch and we have Dessinger, but I am gonna get to Mag for some of the great Xbox developer direct announcements in a second. But go ahead, D.
Yeah, what they're doing now, and I've noticed an uptick on some of my older CPUs, my older Intel CPUs that support DDR4 and DDR5. Those ones are selling a lot because people want to build with DDR4 because that RAM price is unaffected, right?
Right, it's lower.
So we're seeing a resurgence in the AM4 platform, and I believe AMD at CES 2026 they announced that they're going to be bringing some new stuff to the AM4 platform to help alleviate this. Now, I will say this. If you're on the AM4 platform and you have an X3D chip, I wouldn't be too worried about, I don't have DDR5 RAM on my system because your 3D cache chip is going to be plenty fast. You're not going to see a huge uptick in performance versus a non-3D chip. And I still think the AM4 platform is a fantastic platform because they got the X3D chips on there, right? So I think that's one way to kind of bring some of the costs down. And once again, I don't know how much DDR4 that they actually make. Eventually the supply chain could dry up a little bit and you could see an uptick in price on that because of demand too. Because like I said, a lot of people they're asking for a cheaper build, and I tell them, hey, if you want DDR5, you want the AM5 platform, it's $500, $600, $700 more than it was 6-7 months ago.
Right.
If you want something cheaper, build it on the AM4, right? And some people are turned off by AM4. They got to have the latest shit. And I'm telling you, AM4, X3D, even their other processors are fine for gaming, honestly.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a few other questions that I have that I'm going to get to D-Batch in a second here. And they are somewhat PC, more Valve questions. At Glassdoor Gamer, Death Singer, this one's for you. He says, every platform Death Singer touches dies. First Xbox, now PCs going back into the dark ages of the early 2000s. He goes, Death Singer, please, become an A. He wants you to be an AI fan.
King Midas here. What do we got going
No.
He's saying we don't want you at PlayStation. Please
don't go to PlayStation.
To be fair, Xbox killed itself. It just shot itself in the leg, shot itself in the foot, shot itself in the arm, and then shot itself in the head. And all that.
But then saying, how could this be? They were doing all the stuff you wanted, was supporting PC and all the rest. How?
Yeah, they are doing the stuff I wanted. They gave me a reason to stay with PC.
To leave them.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, to leave them.
So what this proves is that PC gamers will support things that they know will harm the platform just if it benefits them.
Well, no, it's a selfish. I'm going to be honest with you. I 100% don't give a shit if Microsoft makes money. I just want the good games.
I understand that.
Two rats if they make whatever revenue at the end of the month. When their charts come out, I'm like, I don't give a flying fuck. Whatever you did, just give me the game.
I get that, but there is a human cost to that, though, because if they don't do well, then have more layoffs, you have more studio closures,
less games.
They could even hack it up.
Yeah. To be fair, though, with the whole AI push, they're doing all these layoffs anyway. They've been doing it for years.
But even worse.
It's only going to get worse.
it's like they create their own problems, and it's like I feel bad for you if you lost your job, but at the end of the day, I have my own problems. I can't be caring about your company's problems. I got my own shit to deal with. So it's like it is what it is at the end of the day. And it's like you put the games on PC, you put the games I like on PC, so I'm going to be on PC, and that's what it's going to be. So it's kind of like
it's interesting because Microsoft. We all sat here for years. Everybody said this. They're like, well, Microsoft's a software company, so they just want to become a third party and they want to put their games everywhere. The thing is, you see all these big Embracer Group, right? You see all these other ones that put their feet in there. There's a lot of big third party. EA ran into some money troubles. Ubisoft running into money troubles. So just being the third party and putting your game everywhere situation doesn't always have that rosy glow to it anymore these days. You know what I mean? Having the platform that they used to have before and having exclusive content and doing things the traditional way like Nintendo and PlayStation are doing, and I think they're still both thriving in that area. I think that Microsoft is looking back and saying, you know what, at this point, I mean, now they're too far. I mean, and we'll get into it in a bit. There's a lot of the beloved games from Xbox in the past 5 years that are going to be coming now in the past even 24 months that are coming to PlayStation with... we have Avowed and Grounded 2 coming, as well as we're going to hear about more of them soon. But I think they should have stuck with what was working. I think Xbox was doing fine. If they bought these teams and then they made them exclusive games, you would have had a reason to go out and buy the box, which gets people to buy things in your store versus others. I don't know. I mean, this is all Monday morning quarterback now. It doesn't matter. It's all under the bridge at this point. So we won't go down that road again. But I think I think somebody messed up big time over there. I think they messed up big time because, like you said, Detzinger, you were there for it. They convinced you to go PC. You never looked back. And let me tell you something. Many people are in the pool with you. Many people are over there. So
well, you may as well because you get treated better. You get a game on your own terms. Like a lot of the cost of gaming has gone away. It's like a lot of like pay to play online for months and whatnot. The fact you could get discounts on day one games from like Loaded and whatnot. Like there's plenty of ways to save money that you could put to other things.
Right.
And you still keep up with the Joneses, but it's like you're not beholden to the platform holder. Like if you game on PlayStation could do something and there's nothing you could do about it. Whereas on PC, let's say Epic does something I don't like, I could just say, well, fuck you, I'll go somewhere else.
Right. Well, Epic was probably a bad example, but yes, I know what you're saying.
Well, I mean, no, but like you have options of storefronts, right? You have options.
What do you mean? You give me a recent example of what you mean.
Of what?
How he means, I think, how PlayStation would do you wrong and you're screwed.
Right, yeah, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, we've been gaming for decades, right?
Like, you're beholden to PlayStation. So, if, like, for example, if one day, this is hypothetical, one day they can go, okay, the price of our online service is now, instead of 150, I'm just making these numbers up, instead of 150, you now have to pay 200 a year. If you want to online game in a lot of those games, you have no choice but to pay that. You don't have a choice. It's either you pay this money or you don't play Call of Duty Online and these other games, right? So they are forcing you into a position. You are beholden to them.
No, but you have a choice. You sell your PS5 and then buy whatever else you want.
Yeah, well, yeah, you do have an extreme choice like that. I'm on about, like, just a choice where you don't have to do that.
Don't forget, too, though, Detzinger, we say these things, and I'm not saying your example is a bad example, but, like, the market also dictates. Shout out to Brap, who couldn't make it tonight, but this is something me and him have been saying for a very long time. If they were to go from, like, we'll use those hypothetical numbers, like, let's say right now they're at around 135 or something like that, and they were to jump to 200, something outrageous, you would see an unbelievable backlash. You'd see people canceling their multiplayer, and eventually they would have to react. The market would react. They would have to react. Now, would it happen in 24 hours? No. It would take maybe a couple of months, maybe longer, but eventually it would have to, you know what I mean? Like, you can't go into your favorite place, Detzinger, where you only get a sandwich for lunch every day at work, and they've been charging you $7. and then you go in the very next day, even with things that are going up, and they have now moved that $7 sandwich to about $18. I'm sorry, you know what's going to happen? You and many others are not going there anymore. They're going to have to reduce their prices because that's gouging at some point. So I know what you mean, but you know,
it's not
like
going
an
to be that big of a jump,
right?
But they'll keep slowly raising it. Like, look at the way they treat Game Pass, right? How they've been slowly raising the price.
Everything goes up. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say slowly, but
not slowly there.
Game Pass is a great example.
No one even talks about Game Pass anymore.
If you want to utilize Game Pass, you are beholden to Xbox.
Yeah.
It's their service. And if they keep increasing the price, you have no choice but to pay what they're telling you to charge, because they are dictating what you pay. So it's either you cancel your subscription and don't bother, or you pay what they're asking you to pay. So you are beholden to them. You don't have a choice in that matter. So that's what I mean by beholden to the platform. Whereas on PC, if let's say Steam says, "Oh, this game's 70," okay, well, let me go over here. It's only 60 over here, and then I'll redeem it on your store anyway. And it's like I'm given a choice in the matter.
Right.
I can make an informed decision as a consumer, whereas you don't have that choice. It's either A or B. You don't have C, D, E, F, and G.
I don't know if it's just a different roundabout way, because obviously you have physical. I don't know what it's like in the States, but as I said before the show, I was telling Mooch, actually, I picked up Resident Evil Requiem, in what's it called, lentacular case. So it's like a special case, you know, it has 3D effects and shit. It's like
physical edition, very cool.
I picked it up for £52, and it includes pre-order bonuses. It should be 70, and let me just see. But like, so even though maybe PlayStation could charge, you know, whatever they want on the store, but it doesn't. It's not the only avenue to buy games. Like, you know, you can buy them. You can buy discounted PSN vouchers. You can buy digital codes. You can buy from physical, and you know, with Xbox or whatever. Like, so there are other options. But I get what you're saying.
There are other options, but not natively on the platform.
So shout real quick to Eric.
Which
Eric.
Doesn't make no difference.
Eric, the producer, just wanted to correct me. The 135 I think I was talking about was PS Extra, but Eric, the producer, just reminded me PS Plus is $80 a year. Thank you, Eric, the producer. I do have a couple of super chats here, guys, that I do want to kind of just, and it ties in with this here too. Glinter says, "Will these price hikes extend this generation?" I think possibly. It could. I mean, D, you think so?
So there's some reports circulating that at least for PlayStation, they'll schedule 7.
Say again, D, you're cutting out. I apologize.
Oh, sorry, I'm too far away. We're hearing some reports that PlayStation is still scheduled to launch in 2027.
Okay. No, I don't.
Anything could change, but as of now,
I think that
they're still scheduled.
If this shortage, and depending on how Sony, you know, predicted their future buys with certain situations like RAM and what they're doing with AMD, I can't speak to it, so I'm not going to really say. But I could see it being extended a year or something like that. I mean, I don't think you're talking about this generation going 12 years. You know, it's not going to go irate like that. John Slam Lee, he says, bought my brand new PC for just over $3,000 on Black Friday. The same PC build would be over $4,000 now. Buy them now before it gets worse. John saying get out there if that's the world you want to get into. I mean, you know, the numbers are going to keep escalating.
Or to be honest, just ditch DDR5 and go DDR4. Because
that's
as D said, DDR4 is still absolutely fantastic for now and in the next coming years. Like, there is nothing wrong with it. Like, the DDR5 is, it's a bit better, but at the prices now, just go DDR4 because you'll pay half the price. You'll get fantastic performance anyway. And it's not like the AM4 has trash CPUs. They have like the 5800X3D, which is a god tier CPU for AM4 platform.
Not like saying what James
CPU will just do you.
John Slam. Go ahead, D.
With the 3D platform, like he was saying, it's like there's not a big difference. And if you're not on the 3D platform, do you want to pay $1,000 more for 20 FPS? Like, come on, what are we doing?
You know, I will say this much though, you know, and I think a lot of people in the chat that come here, you know, me and Nib were talking about it. Like, it depends. Like, there's certain multiplayer games that I'll go ahead and I'll pick up on PC, things like that. But I certainly still enjoy the console experience. Like, what is it there? Resident Evil Requiem. I'm going to be buying that on PS5 Pro. I will say this to you guys that are out there. I would say, you know what? If these numbers like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 start to scare you, guess what? I mean, I will tell you, I have 2 PS5 Pros, and I will tell you something. They look phenomenal playing video games. Okay, they look absolutely phenomenal. So if you want to save money and you're looking to upgrade, and you're like, I didn't know if I wanted to, and you want to spend $700, or like D was saying, if there's still a sale out there in your area, and you can get it for $650 or $600. You know what? Grab yourself a PS5 Pro and you can enjoy that right into the next generation. I'm telling you, that's just my personal opinion. I have a great PC. I'll tell you right now, I still game more than half on my PS5. You know what I mean? So, like, it's out there if you don't want to spend thousands of dollars.
I think a lot of people, they don't see it as an option yet, but I think as the year progresses and the prices get worse, I think a lot of people are going to start looking at GeForce Now. Now, I know it's cloud gaming, and I know some people might have a bad taste in their mouth.
A lot of people swear by it, D.
From what was the Google one, the Chrome one? I forget what it was called.
Stadia.
Stadia, and they have a bad taste in their mouth from the Xbox Cloud service.
I get
NVIDIA's GeForce Now is the real thing. You are going to be hard pressed to feel the latency. And I'm not saying the latency is not there, but you're going to be fine, especially if you're coming from a console to play that. It's going to pretty much feel the same. And you're going to get
what are the costs on that, D? You got some. You could be wrong. I mean, I'm not asking you to get to the penny. What's the rough estimates for what's the top tier performance? Because you're going to want to pay for that.
The cost. I don't even know. I'm going to check.
Shout out.
It'll probably be like 30 for like the top end. I would imagine in US dollars.
Now you don't get. Do you get games with that singer or no? You have to buy your games.
$20 a month. $20 a month. $199 a year. And it provides you the performance of like a RTX 50.
But you still have to buy your games.
Yes,
you still have to buy your games.
So it does still have Stadia's. It still does. It still does have Stadia's
games. You still own them.
Yeah, I understand. You own those games, and also another bonus. They just announced GeForce Now works with Linux.
Yes,
which is fucking awesome because now
it's going to be on Macs and stuff, all kinds of stuff.
So now you can get off that shitty Windows platform, go install some Linux. And you could still play all the shit you wanted to play, which is that the fact they achieved that and managed to get that done is absolutely amazing because their customer base is about to blow up because all the Linux users are going to want a piece of that action because Linux still has issues with running some games. It is what it is. So you could just do it through GeForce Now. And GeForce Now is absolutely fantastic. So you should definitely check it out.
And they improved it. They announced some improvements at CES. Now you can play at 5K, 120 hertz.
Just
you
to correct,
get up to 360 FPS.
Just to correct Aaron.
Settings.
Aaron, I don't know where Aaron's coming up with these. Jay, I appreciate it. I don't think Aaron's not being too rough in the audience. Let Aaron speak his mind, JC 2013. Unless there was something I missed, you can let me know. But Aaron, the one thing you were saying a second ago, you were saying PlayStation people are putting $20 a month down. I just looked it up. I mean, PlayStation, know, Eric, the producer, was right. You know, he says $9.99 a month or $79.99 for the year for PS Plus. I mean, $80 for the year. I'm not condoning it. Of course, I would rather have, free. But at the same time, I would say, it's still not outrageous of a price to where, and he's a Nintendo fan, Aaron. Formerly Xbox, now Nintendo. And I said, don't forget, I pay for Nintendo Online. He goes, well, you're right, but that's $25 for the year. No doubt, but I mean, I'm also paying for that for one game, basically.
Yeah.
So, I
wish that online would just go away. Like, I have PlayStation Plus. I have the middle tier one.
Yeah.
And, it kind of is what it is. It's I don't know, man. It's just it's such an old, dated formula, and it's just hard. I understand from their point of view, it's just hard for them to get rid of it.
Yeah,
because they generate so much revenue.
It's so much money, D. I mean, it's insane.
But it's a ripoff. And like for instance,
sure.
I'm looking here again at the GeForce Now price, $20 a month.
Okay.
You can get RTX 5080 performance in select games. Okay. If not, you're getting an RTX 4080. You get 8 hours of gaming per session, 4K resolution. You know,
so they limit you. They limit you. Not that I'm. Listen, some people are going to hear me say this and go, "Mooch, are you crazy?" But they're limiting you to 8 hours a day. Is that a day, or is that
gaming session? So I guess that's like session.
Yeah, on GeForce Now, you have to buy the game, though, right?
Yes, you have to buy the game.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same Stadia business model.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's actually good.
It's good.
I know it's good.
And also, the main thing is it utilizes your Steam library. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people who have Steam have a massive ass library. So it also allows you to utilize like the heavy discounts on games, like Loaded.
Wait. So the games you own on Steam can play through GeForce Now?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it brings your whole Steam library.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you had to buy them.
You can do it.
I thought you had to buy them
for free.
I thought you had to buy them again. I thought you had to buy them again. Was my quote.
No.
You can try it out now for free. Like you can do the 1080p tier. It's like free to get like an hour session.
That's pretty cool.
You can try it out. But I'll say this.
Okay.
Once again, at the $20 tier, you're getting like 4080, 5080 performance. So that means you're getting everything that comes on that card.
What is it streaming? What is it streaming through on your TV though? Let's say you have a 2019 fully smart TV in your family room, but that's it. It's just a standalone TV. It's smart. It can handle it. What is GeForce Now streaming through on your TV in your living room?
Whatever you want. If your TV's 4K, it'll stream 4K.
No, but I mean, is it coming through an app through the television? Is it through your Apple TV? I mean, how do you?
It's through an app.
So.
But I don't think you can do it just off your TV. You need an NVIDIA Shield or like a
Sorry. So you can do it from your PC, obviously, or like a NVIDIA.
The Shield isn't cheap, by the way. It's like,
how much is the Shield? Let's talk about it.
$200.
And the Shield is what would plug into an HDMI in your television.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's what I was saying. There has to be some sort of box or device. Shout out to Eric, the producer. I mean, he's gonna fight the good fight here. He says PS Plus gives you at least 3 games a month. You know, that's one thing Aaron didn't talk about too. And don't get me wrong, there's certain months like a lot of people don't like the what was it, Need for Speed or whatever came out for this month. They didn't care for that, but a month or two ago there was some real good bangers out there that they gave us for the 3 games. That fluctuates. That's personal opinion too.
The other thing as well, like there's like a hidden benefit if you have kids, right? Like, so I've noticed weirdly PS Plus is actually, as in the premium one, is better than Game Pass if you have children, because there's just a lot more. Like I've so far with him, I played Horizon Lego Adventures, I played Ninjago Lego, I played Lego Jurassic Park, I played Jurassic Park Evolution. There's more stuff from Paw Patrol. I know there's one Paw Patrol game on Game Pass, but there's like 2 or 3 on PS Plus. It's a really minor thing, and I'd never thought about it until now, but he's like racing through these games quick time, and I got to say it has been nice to just whatever he says, like, what about Ninjago, Dad? And I'll go on and I'll search it. And
well, I want to ask a question to you guys, and shout out to Glassdoor here real quick. He says Death Singer literally, and I'm going to read this verbatim, but I don't know if maybe Glass, you might have typed this very fast. He says Death Singer, literally all the hardware companies are giving PC gamers the finger. At least PlayStation is in it for the long haul. A PC costs more to power a year than I pay for online with games.
What? Yeah, I've mentioned this before. Someone did an analysis. I think it was Stuff or one of the PC sites maybe. But if you have like a more performant high-end rig, with your 800 watt power supply and everything else, because of the price of energy at the moment, the cost of energy difference alone, because obviously these consoles are very low power wattage. I think running like a game, it's like 200 and something watts, maybe 210, 220 watts PS5. I think it may have even gone down now with the versions. So the difference in electricity running costs alone, depending on how much you gain, can equate to as much as the monthly charge on these subscriptions. Not Game Pass, obviously. Not.
I mean, but then again, that's heavily. There's so many nuances and caveats to that because it's like, what's your electric bill a month? How much you run in your washer, your dryer? Everything's running on your electric and whatnot. That's
no. I mean, just the console versus PC.
I think the study would have concentrated.
But it's a household bill versus a service they're charging you for. Two very different things.
Yeah, with the service you get more.
Well, I mean, but then again, you can't use your console if you don't have your utility bills paid. So, I mean, at the end of the day, as a console owner, you not only have to pay for your internet, you have to pay for your electricity, but then you have to pay to play online.
Let me ask you a question.
The thing is, though, between the electricity costs, I always find like there's a lot of things that are glossed over console side because like I buy the majority of my games physical, and I get it. Most people don't do that, probably because most people don't buy loads of games or don't need to save money or they're not frugal. Like, who cares, right? Like, at the end of the day, you can just buy something and whatever pops your uncle. But the fact that I can buy impulse buy games, play them, beat them, and just sell them on eBay or whatever, or use CEX, like to get like a bulk of my money back. So much so that games only end up costing like a few quid, £5 to £10 or something. Like if you beat them within a decent amount of time, which I do because whatever I buy, I complete within the first month.
Sometimes. Oh, that's a jab at Mooch, by the way, folks, in case you didn't know that.
Yeah, so like for me, it's like that saving is never be replicated on PC. Like it's an astronomical saving. We're talking hundreds and hundreds, maybe even
there's more and more digital sales too. We just left the holiday sale event, and then PlayStation's got another like welcome to 2026 digital event. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
do I think?
And you mentioned that. You mentioned that, and Game Pass. They had what games have they got? The Outlaws, Star Wars Outlaws, and there's another good game.
Yeah, it's in there. Yeah.
Yeah, something else. I don't know if it's Dying Light or something. One of the games.
Resident Evil Village.
Someone was saying,
Resident Evil Village. That's right, Mag.
Yeah, Resident Evil Village. And if you go on the Xbox store right now to buy both of the deluxe versions of those games, because they're on sale on the Xbox store, it's like $35 or something, which is like $5 more than the Game Pass. And I get it, you get more games that month. But if you're not actually going to play all those other games and you're really only interested in
that's always been my point, the Game Pass. How many games can you play in a month?
It, right?
Like, but Mooch, you get 280 games. I'm like, you can only play, like, if you're playing Star Wars Outlaws and you're playing Resident Evil 8, like, that's your month. Like, that's your month. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you do have other things to do. I'm assuming you have school or work or, I don't know, something.
Like, pay $5 more and keep them. Forever.
Yeah, keep them.
you know? And you get the deluxe versions as well.
That was always my. So Death Singer, let me say. Go ahead. I want to ask you a question. Say your point, but I did want to ask a question to you guys about all this Death Singer and D. I want to hear what Mag's got to say as well, and then we're going to the Xbox Direct. But like, does this affect Valve's new Steam machine with these prices and these parts going up? I mean, we haven't. I would have thought the minute January came, we would have heard some new dates. I haven't heard anything.
I think they knew about this beforehand. That's why they didn't announce the price at all. Because they're going to have more insight, right? They're going to have to make their deals to get the RAM for that system. So we're going to build out, 2 million systems. So we need the RAM allocation. So they go to their partners who, they're going to get their RAM from. This is the price it's going to be at. And they already know the price. And I think it's probably going to be locked in indefinitely because they're going to get at the rate that it's at. So I don't expect it to be $500 anymore. I think, realistically, that thing's going to be like, I don't know. I would say maybe like 700.
Weren't they already concerned about the price before this even happened?
Yeah.
Apocalypse happened?
Yeah.
And they were talking about that in an interview. Remember, there was that interview where they talked and they were all looking at each other when they said, oh, yeah, we're expecting around 500. And the people from Valve were just kind of looking at each other going, oh, shit. Yeah.
Holy shit.
You remember that? That was months before Rampocalypse even happened.
You're right, Mag. You're 100% on the money there.
I'll say this, though. With the current climate, that thing comes out at $700.
I don't know.
Be like, it's a bargain. It's a bargain.
Okay,
they will say that.
You can kind of look at it that way. Yeah,
it will be.
You can once we see the actual specs and we see what this thing actually does. You might be onto something there.
You reckon people are going to say it's a bargain when?
Well, he's comparing it to RAM PC prices. Nib, keep that in mind.
I know, but then the PS5 was like 280 quid.
Right.
Okay, but it's.
I mean, that's the thing. I think that's
PC
where
market is the PC market, right? So
see,
but you squeeze so much.
But D, there is a fine line we have to draw in the sand, right? Where this. Listen, I understand PC gamers and Valve themselves will say this. They're like, it's a PC in a box. But really, when you put a PC in a box that looks just like that, it looks a lot like a console. So what Nib's trying to say is, if you're giving me very similar to eerie similar specs of a PS5, and the PS5 was on sale for $350, and this thing's $700, you start losing a bit of the only time the argument looks like a deal is when you're like, are you going to go pay $1,500 to $3,000 for a PC or $700 for this PC in air quotes? But it really does look like a console. I mean, it's
and I'll say this though, console will always have its place. And console's place is to have great performance at a price. So for the entry level gamer, PC doesn't have the same requirements, and PC gamer, and although it looks like a console, PC gamer and a console gamer, they're not really the same. And on PC, you're not paying for online. There's savings right there. You're getting all these games really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You have access to all of your catalogs that you've had throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a different market. So when we're going to compare that Steam console, we got to compare it in the PC sphere, not directly in the console sphere. When the next Xbox hybrid comes out, then we can compare it to that. But right now, you got to kind of compare it to PC.
Okay.
So if that thing comes out at like $700, but to build the equivalent PC or something close to it, it's going to cost like $1,200. People are going to see the savings and they're going to want to grab it.
I think
right?
I really do think
it's a new hot thing too. Right?
And listen, D, I'm not going to disagree with you. I will say this. So Nib, the one thing I'll say, it's all dependent on the context of the conversation and the customer. Right? Because Nib made a good point that this is going to be eerily similar to a PS5, and a PS5 you could get way cheaper. D comes back and says, let's talk about this when we're talking about the Xbox hybrid, or if you're going to build your own PC, this is absolutely this is going to be a lot cheaper. Both arguments are actually correct at the same time.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, in a world where GTA 6 is console exclusive and around the corner, I don't, as in it's only on consoles.
Right.
But yeah, and then you have considerably cheaper prices as well at the same performance. I'm just saying, suddenly, like, your ears start perking even to PC gamers. It's like, hold on a minute. Get all these first party games day one. I can get Wolverine. I can get Intergalactic. I can get friggin', GTA 6. Like, suddenly the value proposition is very different. And it's a really funny thing because, like, I think one of the advantages to PC gaming in recent times has been that the cost differentiation has started to close between consoles, versus what we had before. And now it's kind of going back to extending again. So I'm really curious what happens with the PS6, but, depending on how greedy PlayStation gets, they really have an opportunity of literally a lifetime, really, right now, because if the PS6 is subsidized or does come in at a pretty decent price, obviously it's going to still increase in price.
Right.
But, they're a customer at the end of the day who orders, 100 million plus units of whatever RAM it is over the course of a generation, every generation. So they're a high priority customer still, right? Probably one of the most high priority customers those kind of providers will have. At the end of the day, if they come in, Xbox is not really the same sort of competition anymore. They're going to have this high premium PC, essentially hybrid. And then PC prices are suffering with RAM increases, and maybe GPUs are stalled, things like that. I know video they said they're not announcing their RAM is going up, SSDs are going up, and all this thing. And obviously that's consumer side, right? Consumer side doesn't have the same mass economies of scale versus, say, someone who's 100 million units or something.
Right.
Suddenly PlayStation, if they come in real competitive with that price, I feel like it's going to be a very, very enticing product.
This is a chance for them to actually take that grand step forward to go back to where they were in that PS2 era, right? Where they were the dominant force in the console. It'll depend on how do they react that way, or do they get greedy? That's really what it comes down to.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. First of all, what I've heard, they don't want this console to be expensive. So they're really conscious on the price.
That's right.
I also think their contributions, AMD and A5, because RDNA 5 is going to be a collaboration between Sony and AMD, right? Amethyst, right? So the stuff that they develop for AI and stuff there, and the better compute for it is going to be an RDNA 5, right? So somewhere within there, they're going to do some type of business where they're going to get a discount. Their RDNA 5 architecture that's going to be inside of the PlayStation 6. So I think they'll be fine. In all honesty, I don't see the PlayStation 5 being more than $1,000. If I had to guess, I would say $800 to $899, with $899 maybe being the disc option and $800 being the discless option. The next generation Xbox, I do see that being more expensive because what they're doing in it and components that they're using, it's going to be more brute force than the PlayStation 6. But the PlayStation 6, they have a lot of decompression technology and big AI collaboration with AMD Amethyst. So it's going to be very interesting. And some people are telling me, oh, Xbox is going to have that in their console. They're not. Because the Amethyst project, that's going to be in RDNA 5, and that's going to be in the PlayStation 6. Xbox, they're doing their own thing. And now people quote Sony saying, well, if Xbox wants to use it in the future, they can, which is correct. That would be like the next console, because when they're developing these consoles, they're developing the stuff years in advance. And they go to AMD and say, okay, what's available? What's going to be available in this pipeline that we can use to build our console? Okay, these are the specs that we want. It would not be available. Microsoft wouldn't have available to them what they're doing Sony for that Amethyst, because they just wouldn't be able to do that. So I just wanted to address that, because I hear that a lot on X in places. And
also, I wanted to address something in the chat, because I saw someone say the PC sales thing is not real. And it's like, here's what you've got to get through to you, right? Console sales are great, but it's old games. Let's go bar for bar, band for band. 3 brand new games coming this year, right? Day one, I just went on the PS5 store.
Yeah.
And I went on to Loaded. Code Vein 2, Pragmata, and Neo 3, right?
Okay.
On PC, all 3, day one, soon on release, £132 for all 3 games.
Okay.
On PlayStation,
You're doing it wrong.
That's 170.
No, it's not. It's not, because you know what you do? You go on to Shop2, Eniba, CD Keys, even eBay, whatever you want. You just buy your PSN top-up voucher with your
and you save $10 to $15 per. Yeah,
you get like 15-20% off each game.
Yeah,
like
it's to say that you can't go. You can't go to Loaded and do that. You have to go to Steam store where they're full price to be. You have to go full price for full price. You can't go to a discount store for one and then the full price store
then
for
you
the
have
other.
To include the discounts.
Like it's not that big of a difference anymore.
There's all kinds of discounts.
Yeah, I mean, okay. And by the way, that's not
many places.
You're right to go to Loaded. I go to Loaded. That I look there a lot of times. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I'll actually pay a little bit more and just buy it on Steam, because I don't know. I got to tell you, the way that some of these things, I know, and I haven't been burned yet, but man, sometimes it's shady when they're like, your code will appear in, and then the code doesn't show up, and then I'm like, oh man, I think I just lost this for a savings of $7. I really screwed myself. You know what I mean? I'm like, but you're right. I use Loaded, but you formerly CD Keys. But you have to do what Nib's saying too. I mean, Nib's not wrong. You can go in there and you get a PlayStation card for you pay whatever. You'll pay $30 and you'll get a $40 value card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'll say
like
this
right now, Shop2 is selling the £70 PSN credit for £57, right? I paid £52 for Resident Evil Requiem. £52.
And that's
like the prices of last generation.
And that was also a special edition too. Keep that in
special
mind.
Edition.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, there's always alternative options if you're a savvy customer.
The biggest argument right now, I think, for a PC.
But that's the thing. If you're a savvy customer, I guarantee you, the vast majority of PlayStation users have no fucking idea what the hell that is.
I don't know about
that. But the PSN vouchers are the most popular items on Amazon.
Deathsinger, if I may interject real quick, let's remember how many people recreated new accounts just for the $1 deal of Game Pass. Believe me, console gamers are well aware.
Yeah, they know. They're
well aware.
And I gotta say this too: PlayStation, and gotta be PlayStation Store. They have some really good sales all the time. Like they had Claire Obscura 33 on sale. Like they had a bunch of new games on sale, like significantly off the price.
Yeah.
Forza Horizon 5 had a big sale on
I think the biggest argument you could still make in the PC world is saying that you don't pay for online. And again, there's people who would argue, I'm not saying either is right because I've had this discussion for years now, right? D and Deathsinger, you guys know this. But some people say, listen, I like the 3 games that I get and get to keep as long as I keep playing. I get 3 games. Their library expands and expands and expands. Think about the 3 games a year, and you've had PlayStation Plus for how long? That's a long time. I think they started that 3-game gifting thing through the PS Plus, if you will, in the PS4 era. So that's a very long time. That's a lot of games. Now, you may say, I don't care for those games. That's fine, but they're still yours while you pay for those. So there's value. The value is in the eye of the beholder. I've been saying that since day one. But the whole, I buy games on PC cheaper, that may still be true, but I think that the indication line of how cheaper has reduced.
This, in all honesty, yes, I think games on PC, they're significantly cheaper than consoles. I think PlayStation does a good job of putting sales on games. And yes, you got to pay for online on PlayStation, and you don't got to pay for it on PC.
That's right.
But I think the value of PlayStation is their exclusive games. Is their games that you can't get anywhere else.
Well, that's the whole thing, D. It goes full circle to what we talked about with Xbox changing their motto of their games everywhere. What you just said is really the same thing for Nintendo, right? It's not just a PlayStation conversation. It's that same thing. And people kept saying, D, what were people saying when they announced the new Steam machine? That they were going to announce the new Steam machine with what? Half-Life 3 or whatever, you know what I mean? And make it like, oh, you gotta buy a Steam machine. Right. And it should.
I know they won't do that, but if they did, I'd buy a Steam machine straight up.
I think, to be honest, I've heard that is happening.
Well, I hope it is.
Right. Welcome new Steam machine.
Yeah, welcome new Steam machine.
I mean, to be fair, if GTA 6 and Half-Life 3 release in the same year, that has got to be probably the greatest year ever in gaming. Surely. Surely that has to be number 1 or number 2 ever. Of all time.
I want to say something on exclusives as well, right? So the value proposition of PlayStation's got its exclusives. Yes, some of the exclusives make their way to PC, but they're not day and date. That's why I got the PlayStation 5 Pro, so I don't have to suffer. I can play it in high fidelity. But GTA 6, that game is going to be a monster. You have guys that are on the PC platform that don't give a damn about console, but they will pick up that console for that one freaking game. So please don't tell me exclusives don't matter. They do.
Of course
I
they
wish
do.
that they would release Grand Theft Auto 6 day and date on PC. I wish that would happen.
One of the best pizza joints around me has one of the most miserable owners. Miserable. His customer service is probably a D-, but the pizza is so good, okay? And only he makes that pizza. It's exclusive, right? It's his sauce. It's his dough recipe. So I don't care how miserable he is when I go to pick up the pizza. You know what I'm trying to say? So people saying exclusives don't matter, that is an absolutely ridiculous comment. It does matter. You may not like it. I didn't say you had to like it. I don't like how miserable the guy is. I don't. But I like the,
you know what?
Right? I mean, come on. Go ahead, Nip.
This whole exclusives conversation is so weird because I feel like you really have to have your blinkers on in regards to sort of data and facts and sales charts and everything. If the PS5 all-time best-selling games list, Sakana, that they put out the other day, right? 3 of the top 10 are first-party exclusives. The second best-selling game of all time on PS5 is Spider-Man 2, and these are all without bundles included. Imagine how many freaking God of War and Spider-Man 2 bundles were sold, and they're not even included, and it's still the second best. It's outsold every single Call of Duty except one, And between Ragnarok and Miles Morales, they've outsold every single other single-player multi-platform game, your Cyberpunks, your Elden Rings, all of those big games, with the exception of, I think, Hogwarts Legacy slots in between them on the list. That's Hogwarts Legacy. That's freaking Harry Potter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's just weird. And then you look at like the full year sales chart, Sakana, right? Between PlayStation and Nintendo, I think PlayStation have like 19 and the rest is Nintendo. They have friggin' exclusives. I don't mean console exclusives. I mean at the time full exclusives. If I was to include console exclusives, PlayStation's only increases by 1. It's just Helldivers 2. But yeah, there's 40 exclusives between them that have charted in the last decade. Xbox has 1 in the last decade that has charted in the full year. If you include console exclusives, which Starfield, then it's 2.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking like 19, 20, or 40 between them versus 2. And there's almost a direct correlation between market share and sales of performance.
Nib, can I say Dessinger, real quick, you'll like this. This is a funny thing, so I won't mention the streamer. He's at a larger channel, but I was watching Twitch last night, and I'm like, why does this guy have such a huge amount of people watching him play Starfield? And I guess it was yesterday, but Dessinger, please tell me if I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong here at all. I guess yesterday the Star Wars mod came out for Starfield.
Yeah.
Dude, let me tell you, I watched 45 minutes of Starfield, and let me tell you something. Starfield's still Starfield. Like, the game didn't play better or this, that. But the fact that it had Star Troopers walking around and the theme music behind it was phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal.
It looks sick, right?
Yes.
But then again, that's the modding community, which is, that's another perk of PC gaming, is you have really talented individuals who do this shit, and they do it for their love of the game. Sure, you could donate to them, but they put these mods out essentially for free, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like, you could just go on Nexus Mods and download them, and it's like, some of them are so good, you give them a tip. I mean, some of the Bethesda Skyrim modders, they created a mod and they got hired by Bethesda because they did such a great job, because they did their own voice acting quests.
But I'm telling you, if
their own DLC for the game, right? So
they should have collaborated. They should have collaborated with Lucasfilms or whoever's got the rights to that. Because I'll tell you something right now. Wow, that changed the whole perspective.
Yeah, but they probably wouldn't give them licensing.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Because it is what it is.
Even the person who was streaming it, that's why I mentioned it, was like, "Hey, everybody, enjoy this stream because all this music is going to be copyrighted, and when you're going to listen to this, the VOD is not going to play well." So,
Mooch, if you would allow me, I did.
The whole thing's a copyright infringement, but it's like people will enjoy it, and a lot of companies generally don't care what you put in your mods. It's like, I don't think Xbox gives a shit that I made Barrett Master Chief in Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Right.
I don't think Xbox actually cares. Like, they really, that's nothing. So it's like, a lot of the time they just ignore it, because it's great for the community, and it also builds excitement, and it also helps promote your game, right? It helps promote your game. Look at this mod. What's this mod on? Oh, it's on this game. Let me go buy the game so I could go get this mod. So there we go. You just sold a copy of your game just off the mod. So a lot of people use promotions.
That's true. Nib, what were you going to say? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was just going to say one more, because I hear this brought up all the time, right? I've heard it from like JB, from X1, from Cole. Basically, all the people who, like, let's just say, flip-flopped and U-turned exclusives, they're all running with this same narrative, right? Which is weird, because they understood the deal before Microsoft did the pivot, but now they've all pivoted alongside Xbox. You have to champion whatever Xbox does, right? Irrespective of facts and data. But the one thing that I keep hearing over and over again, the most popular games in terms of engagement are, live service multiplayer games. Really true, right? Again, we can see the engagement charts or whatever, but here's the thing, right? If these live service multi-platform games are the most popular in terms of engagement,
yes,
you still need something to differentiate the platforms that you can play them on, right?
Yes.
So if I'm a consumer who, yes, I want to play Fortnite, but it's not the only game I want to play.
Right.
I'm going to buy other games on that system. So in terms of priority of differentiation, why am I going to buy a PS5 over an Xbox? I can play Fortnite on both of them. Well, the chart data itself, the publisher themselves are saying the exclusives are the differentiation. They're not the only ones. The competition agency, when they did their survey, they said that 69% of consumers that they interviewed said the primary reason for them buying a PlayStation over an Xbox was the exclusives. The number one reason was Call of Duty. The differentiating reason, exclusives, right? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, if I can play Fortnite on both consoles, why do I pick PlayStation? Because of Spider-Man, because of Last of Us,
because of Wolverine,
because of God of War. Yeah, Wolverine, GT7, all these other games, right? Which is the charts show us. So it's such a lack of critical thinking that goes with that argument. Yeah. Because then what happens when PlayStation draws them to their platform with the exclusives to play the live service games? Guess who gets the money from those live service games? PlayStation then gets a 30% cut of every single transaction, every third-party sale, every MTX, every bloody DLC and season pass and all this other nonsense. They get a 30% cut, which is why, despite 3.5 billion spent on acquisitions, PlayStation still this last quarter made 38% more revenue than Xbox, and the full fiscal year made 36% more.
Right.
Because ultimately, once you have that ecosystem and big market share, you get more of that 30% cut, which overrides any of this other stuff.
Again, they make the majority of their money anyway.
Exactly,
when you look at it, at the end of the day, exclusives drive you to the ecosystem, and then from there, if you look at like the 85% of gamers anyway, they're the ones that are playing Fortnite, your Call of Duties, they're buying the skins, the DLCs, the season passes, whatever, right? And just like you said, they collect the 30% from that. Like you think about 2025, for example. 2024, Black Ops 6. I know we've discussed this before, but we'll talk about it again. Black Ops 6, 84% sold on the PlayStation 5. So therefore, without even a marketing deal, because at that point, Microsoft already owned it, obviously Sony did not get the marketing deal. So therefore, and in that every single season pass, everything that was purchased of that 84%, 30% of that went to Sony for doing absolutely nothing except for offering it on the platform. So it is, it behooves them to continue to do that. Now, the other thing that you mentioned there, well, I was going to mention, is the marketing deals. So the games that they do not own but are hugely popular, especially in pop culture, they go after those titles immediately. Very similar to how they own Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the biggest superhero on the planet. There is no other superhero close to them. Batman is a distant second these days. Forget about everybody else. But right now, and as it stands for decades now, Spider-Man's the most popular character in the planet. Now, that being the case, they've already got that locked in. But what else is one of the biggest IPs on the planet? Harry Potter. So what happens? Hogwarts Legacy comes out. What do? They get the marketing rights, and the thing is, they give you the impression, especially for the average consumer.
Yes.
The impression that it is an exclusive to PlayStation. Why? They make it synonymous with them, with an advertisement, with TV commercials, whatever. They on YouTube commercials, whatever the hell they got to do. They make it synonymous with there so that it seems that it's only available on that system. So it puts you in the head of an average consumer, not us, not the hardcore. The average consumer, that they need to get that PlayStation to play that game, right? What else? What is the biggest game of this generation? What's going to be the biggest game of this century?
Biggest entertainment release of all time.
Grand Theft Auto.
In any media.
We talked about this, by the way, on this very show in 2024, and I said that Sony had the marketing rights and the bundle rights locked up for GTA 6. That was back 2 years ago. Finally, what's his name? Jason Schreier had confirmed exactly what I was saying. It says, yes, they actually do have all that. And so therefore it is said and done. So now what are you going to do now? The biggest game of the century is now going to be looked at from that 85% casual market, which is actually who shoulders this industry, not us. As arrogant as people and as we can think we are, we are not shouldering this industry.
That's right.
And I've said that before. I said the industry is too heavy for us to carry. No matter if you buy 20 games a year, you are not. They have the sheer numbers. that 85% is going to look at GTA as synonymous with the PlayStation console. So that is why Jason Schreier also said, by the way, and that was something that I had also been saying myself, is that they're going to treat it like a first-party game.
Yes.
Just like they do with Call of Duty.
Destiny, Call of Duty, Hogwarts Legacy. You're right, Mag.
So now do you think for 1 second, you think about this, Wolverine, Modern Warfare 4, and GTA 6, God willing that GTA 6 makes that November deadline, they're going to treat it like 3 first-party games. And so in that respect, in an off way, you could still say in that respect that even though those 2 out of 3 aren't exclusives, you could still say it has the presentation as an exclusive. Therefore, by that definition, you could say that exclusives are important. What got me to the Xbox 360? The Xbox 360, I was watching my superior Buffalo Bills, and this was decades ago, and I'm watching the Bills game, and I see this commercial for the zombie thing. I'm a sucker for zombies, just like Mooch.
Absolutely.
And I'm watching this zombie thing. I go, that kind of looks like Dawn of the Dead. There's like a shopping mall, and I go, God damn it, these graphics. I sat up, and I'm watching it. I go, what is this? And I'm like, and then it says Dead Rising. I'm like, Dead Rising? What the hell kind of game is this? This is unbelievable, this and that. But I look at it, says available only on the Xbox 360. Do you know that very day, as soon as the game was over, I went to the GameStop, which used to be called EB Games in those days?
Yeah.
D-Batch, you know.
I remember.
I bought the 360 that day.
It was EB Games here too, man.
That it doesn't drive people to the systems. And don't tell me that exclusives don't matter, because they fucking do.
They do.
Excuse me.
Exactly. Here's the other thing.
No, they
you
do,
brought
man.
You brought up a really interesting point, marketing deals, right? The other double-edged sword with that is the more and more diminished your market share is versus a competitor, the more and more expensive and hard those marketing deals get, right? Because the way it's predicated is, okay, if we're associated with the system that has considerably less footfall or market share or whatever, then we could lose sales, right? People have complained about it. Square Enix complained about it with Tomb Raider. They said by marketing with Xbox, they feel like they lost sales because people associated with Xbox when, it was timed exclusive or whatever, and that had long-term ramifications on the IP itself, even Titanfall as well, similar thing. So you have a limited user base. So in terms of the market, casual market share, if they're associating with a platform that not nearly as many people own, then that is detrimental for the publisher. The publisher wants the public to, they want to get paid, sure, with the marketing deal, but they also want to sell loads of copies, right?
Yep.
So it's easier for PlayStation to pay for the marketing deal because they're like, well, we're already the biggest fish in the sea. So, you're going to have the most eyes on it anyway. Whereas if Xbox did it, well, they're going to advertise it to their, 30, 32 million, 34 million, whatever it is, install versus 85 or whatever plus on the PS5 side. It's like, double, triple the amount of installs. So it's such a easier get for PlayStation versus Xbox, which is another reason.
It is now. It is now easier for them because they've built this over decades, right? And God bless Microsoft for trying with the Xbox, and they were going in the right direction. Certainly with the tail end of the original Xbox going into the 360, and then things kind of fell apart because the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing when you got a corporation far too big,
way too big
to be able to run a focused business, and that's what ends up happening. Too many chefs in the kitchen, so to speak, right? And so what ends up happening is you get a convoluted a business plan, and therefore there's no clear messaging to the public. When there's no clear messaging to the public, people are very unwilling to part with their dollars. So that is what has transpired over the last 12 years, right? In that specific ecosystem. They've recognized it. At least they've recognized it. And so what do they say? They say, well, you know what? Let's start moving to the publishing arm and start making money for doing, for being able to offer it in other ecosystems. Right. Very much like the PlayStation. The Switch 2, by the way, is going to be getting more. Like Starfield is going to Switch 2 as well. So this should all be interesting, like to see how it moves forward. But that's where they're going to make their bread and butter, and they've already seen it in 2025. You looked at Forza Horizon 5 sold 3 million copies on the PlayStation in 3 weeks. What do you think Forza Horizon 6 is going to make in Japan, by the way? right? So this is Japan, which everybody wanted to begin with. You've got a Japanese console, the PlayStation. You're going to have people in the other, you know what I mean? You're going to have people in the Far East going to be playing this as well, in China, in Japan, whatever. This thing is going to sell like gangbusters over there. You don't think they know that? They know that.
Oh, they know that.
And so they had to change their strategy. So therefore, but the thing is with the PlayStation, this is one thing that's interesting, is that they only have one avenue of access to their storefront, because we all know that this is all about the storefront, nothing else. Right. And because of that, that is why there's such an importance on bringing more people into that ecosystem. Right. And to keep people in that ecosystem. And in order to continue to do that, they do those marketing deals and everything else. And whereas now Microsoft has said, OK, well, you know what? We don't have that kind of pull. So now we're offering accessibility. So now you've got two businesses working two completely different strategies at this point. Right. So there's no even point of even like comparing the two, I guess, so to speak. You know what I mean? And Xbox is going to make their money. They're going to be making billions of dollars. Oh, yeah. Just not as many as Sony. They don't have the same mind share as Sony, but they're still going to make their money. They're still going to go on and do whatever they got to do. And that's all. That's all. Well,
Mag, let me ask you this question. Since we went to GTA 6 before we went to Xbox Developer Direct, let me ask you, GTA 6. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that Jason said this. He even came out and said, I didn't say this. He didn't say there was a delay. He said they actually feel better than they did before, but there's still missions and quests that are still being done that are not done yet. So I guess my question for you is there a chance that GTA 6 ends up getting delayed into 2027?
Yeah, as the internet does what the internet does. They take speculation, rumor, thought, whatever, or even if you have a 3-hour podcast and you say 4 words in one sentence. Right. You know, and they immediately say, "Oh, well, you said this and you did that and you're a liar and this and that." That's just the internet being the internet. So Jason Schreier, and I actually talked about that in 2 of my videos, where I did that. The last video I said GTA 6 might be delayed again, and he did not say it is delayed. See, that's the problem. Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's
like
correct.
Obi-Wan Kenobi 2005. Only a Sith deals in absolutes, and that's what the internet does, or at least most of the morons on it. So the problem is they take that and they take it out of context. He did not actually say it is being delayed. He said there may be a possibility. And he presented the thoughts of it because he was having a conversation on a podcast, which is what people do. You know, like people clip.
Yeah, people don't really.
One specific person.
People clip. Yeah, they clip podcasts.
That rumor,
yeah.
That rumor dropped the share price by $4 and something.
Right. Well, you see,
which is
crazy.
Probably billions in market cap. But it's hilarious.
It is, but it just shows you the power of that IP. But the thing is, at the end of the day, when you look at that situation, he said, well, you never know. It could be a possibility. It might not. He goes, some people at Rockstar said they're not 100% sure. And so that's all he did was present what he thought. And so that's exactly what I did.
The thing about it, though,
accused me of saying the same thing. I just said, is it possible? Do you believe it's going to happen? The other thing he brought up that was interesting is that their fiscal year ends in March. He said even if they delayed it a few months, it would actually still appease the shareholders.
I get that. So here's the question I have for you, Matt, because this is the thing. The one thing that Jason also said was that you have a situation where PlayStation is revolving their schedule around GTA because they are going to present this almost like it's an exclusive, right? Almost. So if they keep kicking it out, how does that affect PlayStation and their games that are going to be coming? Because they have things on halt, right?
That's the thing. Because again, once again, when that marketing kicks in, it's going to be synonymous with the PlayStation platform, regardless of even if they didn't do it or not. Like even if they didn't have a marketing deal with them, the majority of the sales would still sell over there. Again, I have to harken back to Black Ops 6. We don't know the numbers for Black Ops 7 yet, but Black Ops 6, even without the marketing deal, 84% of the games were sold on the PlayStation, right? So GTA 6 is going to be the same thing. And if not even higher at this point, because let's also not forget the PC, sorry, Death Singer, is not involved.
Yeah.
It is strictly on 2 platforms, the Xbox and PlayStation. Whereas, for example, Black Ops was available on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, and still under 3 platforms, 84% were sold on PlayStation. So, in fact, that number could be.
The only thing I would say to that, though, Mag, is that was with Game Pass sales cannibalization because it was a huge drop on Xbox, and I think it was like So this won't have the Game Pass cannibalization, so it could be a higher split. But yes, clearly the vast majority will be on PlayStation.
Yes,
that's interesting.
Yeah, and again, someone's going to probably interpret that as some console war thing that I just said, but no. Chad Stud, you're absolutely right. You know who we're talking about. Anyway, the point is that I think that the sales margins could be even higher there. Yes, you're going to have those people that are going to be obviously they're going to sell millions of copies on the Xbox. There's no question because there are still 30-something million playing on the Xbox currently. And then on top of that, you've got about 10 million people that are still playing on the Xbox One who are going to have to upgrade in order to do so.
That's right.
So that's also going to move hardware as well.
This upgrade number is going to be impressive to see just what this game does.
It's going to be wild.
People are excited to see the sales.
Fall, dude.
I'm more excited to see what's going to happen with hardware. I just want to see that spike because they got to, right?
I'm telling
the Xbox,
you 25 million PS5.
You want to know something? Let me tell the audience a quick thing here.
Right
and I always say this, right? You don't use your in real life example as a true basis, right? It's too small of a census. But a buddy of mine, he's just having his first kid, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to be spending more time at home. I'm not going to be going out. I got a kid, blah blah." He's like, "I'm thinking about upgrading," and I go, "Well, what's your current console?" He goes, "I have an Xbox One from 2013, 2014." He just got a Series X. He upgraded to a Series X. But my point being here is what you just said, Mag, is not wrong. He went and did that now. He's not paying attention to GTA 6, right? He's got a kid. He's trying to get his whole life in order and everything. But my point is there's people out there with an Xbox One and a PS4 that are going to make this jump. I mean, it's a big number.
From activation numbers, it's approximately 10 million.
Wow.
They measure that in activation numbers of how many people are activating games, you know what I mean, based on which console or whatever, the servers and all that kind of stuff. And so the companies do that. EA does it, Activision does that as well. So you'll be able to find out a rough estimate of how many people are still playing on an Xbox One and how many people are playing on a PS4, which I think the number was about triple that, right? So you've got that. Now that's No,
I was going to say I made a tweet about this actually. So from the March, the data's to March 28th, but let's just say to April 2025, nearly 40% of the PlayStation MAU is still on PS4, and over a third of PS5 owners are new to PlayStation. Think about that as a cocktail, right? Over 1/3 never even owned a PlayStation before. They're new from other platforms, new to gaming, new territories, maybe from PC, maybe from Nintendo, Xbox, whatever, right? And then 40% of your MAU are still on PS4, and they can't play GTA 5 or GTA 6 on the PS4. So it's
Modern Warfare 4.
Exactly. So it's such a intense cocktail. And to add on top of that, PlayStation, based on the rumors and reporting, have locked up their RAM purchases and their inventory and everything like that for a year's worth, right? So it's such a dangerous cocktail. They really pre-planned this pretty well. I've got to say, maybe they didn't even plan for it, but with the RAM price stuff, but it's worked out in their favor either way. They're going to have marketing rights with the biggest entertainment media in the world at the same time as all these big exclusives, the same time as protected prices and everything else. It's crazy.
It is. So shout out to the gaming Ledger. Ledger, I just want you to know I see your super chat, Ledger. I'm going to read yours when we get to the Xbox Developer Direct, Ledger. So I did not miss it. I did want to ask you guys real quick, and then Meg, you can take the mic. Glinser says PS5 Pro GTA 6 bundle. Think it'll happen?
Yes.
Wow. Pro or just PS5 base?
Oh, they'll do both.
They will do both. I think they would be foolish not to.
Bundle rights. So I would imagine they could say, well, you could play it on the PS5, you could play it on the PS5 Slim, the digital, the whatever, the disc version, and if you want the whatever, however they want to market it, they could say, oh,
the best way to play it,
the ultimate experience, you can get the PS5 Pro Deluxe Edition or whatever the hell they're going to call it. 100%. They're going to sell more consoles this year because of not just that. You're also going to have, let's not forget, once again, Modern Warfare 4 will not be available for the first time this generation on an Xbox One or a PS4. So people are going to, especially those casuals who, have a PS4 in their garage with their buddies and just once a week play some games or whatever.
Right.
And if they want to play those new games, they're either going to be completely shit out of luck or they're going to have to upgrade one way or another.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're going to get a hell of a lot of sales of hardware this year. So they're going to have to be very careful how they price these things because I still think price is king.
So if you were to put a percentage on it, Mag, if you were to put a percentage on it, what's the percentage you would think of this thing getting bumped out to 2027? Is it 50-50, or is it way less?
I don't know.
Just give it just an opinion. Just an opinion. No one's holding you to it.
I would say it's still 75% it's coming out in November. 25% chance that it gets delayed into 2027.
That's fair.
That's all I mean, that's just personal opinion. That's just
personal opinion.
I have nothing to base that on. I'm just saying that I still think it's going to hit its targets. Because they traditionally delay their games twice. It almost seems like it's clockwork with them. And we're old enough to remember all of their releases and all of their delays. You know what I mean? So we've seen it happen before. I still think they hit the November mark. But the only people that are going to know that are going to be Take-Two, Sony, and Microsoft. They're going to know.
Yeah.
And they're going to know well ahead of before the public knows what's happening, because once again, they have to base their calendars around it. Look at how wild the end of this year is going to be. There's still a possibility, which, by the way, I'm completely shocked. I know we're going to get into the developer direct, but I'm still completely shocked that Gears E-Day was not on that list. I thought 100% for sure, which some people are like, you said it was going to be. I said, I thought it would be on there, assholes, but whatever. Anyway, the point is, I expected that. So who the hell knows? Are they going to announce that in the summer for the fall?
Gears E-Day is going to be at their show, because the games they show at Developer Direct are coming before. I think they're all early games. Forza Horizon definitely.
Forza Horizon we know for sure is going to be April, May. We've heard
and then you could throw Fable into the summer right there.
Well, that is the shock to me.
That's the shocker to me too.
Big
title. Because like later in the year you're going to want Gears. Gears is your big headliner, right? So you want come out later in the year.
But do you though? Because now you've got Gears. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you've got Gears of War E-Day for fall. Let's just say it's coming out in the fall. Okay, we don't know 100%.
You got Phantom Blade Zero. Phantom Blade Zero. You got Wolverine.
Phantom Blade Zero. Wolverine. Gears of War E-Day. Yeah. Modern Warfare 4, which is also owned by Microsoft, and GTA 6. You got 5 huge titles that you're going to shove in 3 months and beg for people's attention and money. I don't know, man. I mean, it almost seems like they've been competing with themselves with Gears of War and Modern Warfare. So,
but then again, it's like you could space them out months ahead. Now you see you have a scheduling problem, because if we assume, like I would say Forza comes out in March, I could see that happen, and then March, April, then you could throw like May, Fable, and then you could throw Gears into the summer, and then cap your year off with Call of Duty, because everyone wants.
If you're throwing it, and Detzinger,
this is still sell millions on Xbox of GTA 6.
This is my old hat talking, but if you're throwing a big game, okay, like either Fable or you're talking about Gears of War E-Day in the middle of the summer, which we know there's a reason many companies don't put games out in the middle of the summer. They avoid that. That tells me a little bit about the game and how they feel about it.
Mooch, a lot of good games have come out in the summer, though. Don't discount it.
I'm not discounting, but I mean, if you look at the law of averages,
that magnitude is going to go in there. And don't forget, this is the debut of a brand new game on the other platform.
Right.
This is going to be going now. One of the reasons, as they say, one of the possible reasons, as why that they went with E-Day was not only to just appease the fans, because nobody gave a rat's ass about what's her name, Kate, and her mother. What is this? The fucking
James.
Gilmore Girls?
And don't forget James.
Drama, like. You know what I mean? Like, nobody cared. And so they go back to the people that we cared about. Dom, Marcus Phoenix, Coltrane, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And
the team.
You know, to go to the beginning, you're now exposing it to almost 100 million other people who've may have never played it.
That's right.
And so you start from the beginning.
That's right.
And you know what I mean? So 100%. I don't know if that's the kind of game you want to risk in the summer, but again, now the thing is, you can be like, well, Wolverine is on the competing platform. Yes. However, Wolverine is a huge name. Marvel's still a huge name. You're going to have, by the way, Doomsday coming out just a few months later, so Marvel Fever is going to start rising up.
The X-Men are all going to be in Doomsday.
Right, and so now you've got that. Now you've also got Insomniac with a pedigree. The thing is, people only have so much money and so much time.
Time is even more of a problem, Mag. That's what me and Nib talk about all the time, is just how much time do you have in your sand glass when you turn that thing? You have more sand in your hourglass than I do? Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing. I know. So you can only play for so long, so much. You know, and don't get me wrong. Certain people are listening to the show and they're like, I have plenty of time. Well, that's fine. That's great. I'm speaking more for the masses. But
you also have to understand from a business point of view. Why would you shovel all this stuff like back up a dump truck and say, here you go, and then just leave it there because something is going to get Titanfall 2'd?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so let's not forget that, lest we forget. We should have like a Veterans Day for that game. You know what I mean? Or a Remembrance Day. You know what I mean? A Remembrance Day of flowers every year for Titanfall 2.
The thing about Titanfall 2 is EA fucked themselves on that one. That's their own damn fault.
Well, that's what Mag's talking about here.
Same thing with Microsoft.
Xbox with the publisher.
They released Modern Warfare 4 with Gears of War E-Day in the same area as Wolverine and GTA 6, because don't forget, regardless of what I said about PlayStation, GTA 6 is still going to sell millions and millions of copies on Xbox, which is going to take away Xbox players' attention from those other games. And you don't want those games to suffer. Give them time to breathe. By the way, Maggots, I see you in the chat. I love you guys. I see you.
Mag, when is
Maggots, I mean my people, you know. Sorry, brother. What are you saying?
When is Gears supposed to come out?
Don't know. We speculated 2026. Like everybody said 2026. It said 2026. What, am I mistaken? Chat, help me out. Oh, by the way, also,
I would say maybe Gears is probably Christmas. I would say Fable might be.
Well,
Fable, I think, is coming earlier than we thought now. I mean, the fact that they're doing a deep dive. By the way, the chat is mentioning Halo. I completely forgot about that, by the way. The Halo campaign evolved.
That's right.
You have 10 months to play with before you get to GTA, right? So if you're assuming Call of Duty, and I would imagine Wolverine launches in, October, right?
Probably
before
September.
GTA 6. September, October, around that time, right? So if you're going to put, let's say Wolverine releases in September, you could Gears in October, maybe. But bear in mind also, obviously, Gears will be on both platforms. Wolverine will only be on one. So you still have 10 months to play with. And if you need to release 4 games, you could probably organize it within 10 months to get all these games.
Sure, you can. Absolutely.
To me, and I'm probably going old school Nostradamus D.
Let's hear it, D. Let's hear it.
With my tinfoil hat. But like in all honesty, like, it's like the perfect storm to release a new freaking console, though. All those games, and you release like your new hybrid. That's where I think it could be plausible. But
yeah, D, you know what?
Or
though,
you just price the hardware right.
The problem, well, one or the other, Meg. But the problem is, see, the thing, D, you started your comment correctly. You're like, let me go old school, and not tinfoil, but just old school thought. The problem is, Microsoft completely took old school and traditional, rolled it into a ball, and threw it right out the window. Like they're not doing anything traditional anymore. Because what you said makes sense.
You know what the thing is, though? Who are you selling this to now? Everybody here in this chat, everybody on this panel, okay, anybody listening after the fact. We all have current hardware in some fashion, right? So the people that are going to be purchasing consoles in order to play these games are extreme casuals, because think about this, who are, by the way, very cost effective. Because if you think about it, why is it we're 5 years into a generation and there's still people playing on a PS4 and Xbox One? Do you think they want to be playing on those consoles? They're doing it because they simply can't afford, I would imagine, they simply can't afford the consoles then in 2020, and then you fast forward to 2025, somehow they're more expensive. These are the people that generally buy consoles towards the end of the generation at half price. Let's not forget the $199 Spider-Man on Black Friday. Yep. Okay, you remember that in 2018. Okay, so, and that was what, 2 years before the end of the generation. Those are the people who are still playing on the PS4 now. Okay, they're not, and that's what I'm talking about. This hybrid or a PS6 or a handheld are not going to sell to those people. They're going to sell to us, but we already got the hardware.
I agree, but the reason why I go there with that train of thought is just doing nothing to absolutely nothing to promote their consoles. No sales, no talk of the hardware. They're talking about next gen hardware already, while at the same time not doing anything about their current gen hardware. Sam's Club's removing them.
You're talking about Xbox.
Removing them.
Okay. Yeah.
Costco's removing them. So to me, it would seem like the perfect storm for them just to release their new hybrid.
Oh,
PC
I get
console.
you. Sorry, brother. Yeah. I get you. But the thing is, what price and what cost?
Yeah, that's the thing. Because I'm telling you, all you guys out there that think that thing's going to be under $1,000, man, it ain't. It's not going to be on. It's. If you're lucky, it'll be $1,000.
The handheld was $1,000.
in the interview with whatever CNBC or Bloomberg, I can't remember, when she said, this thing is going to be a premium device. That to me, when you use words like that.
Yeah, premium equals whatever. Yeah. That's why I don't go to when I see the advertisement for a strip club. It says premium strip club. I know there's a $20 charge at the door. I mean, you know what I mean. I know what is going on. By the way, D-Batch, they're closing Fillmore's. I'm going the final night. You got to come. Are you going?
Yo, Mags.
Saturday, January 31st. The legendary Fillmore's 48 years been open. It's closing on January 31st. It's a big jam that night. You got to come, man. It's gonna be wild.
Hit me in the DM.
There you go. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. Listen to this. Making great things happen on CrossFire. I love it. That's fantastic.
I want to say one thing what Mac's saying about the PlayStation 4 users. Telling you guys once again, man, just go get your hardware because this is the last year you PlayStation 4 guys are going to get in the system.
D-Batch, I got shit on by people. I said, listen, I implore you. And I've actually done it on my channel. I know the maggots are in the chat, but they're cool. They're good. They're the good guys. But I'm like, listen, this is not console war stuff. It really is not. But I'm like, I implore you, if you are still looking for hardware, the last sale that you're ever going to see for the rest of this generation literally is happening right now.
Yeah.
That's it. So get it while you can. Get that
$100 off, man.
Because, and actually, I believe the sales are still on. D, did you not see? I think PS5 or the Pro is still $140 off or something.
Meg,
so what are you guys doing? $100 off. This is the best it's gonna get for a while. He's absolutely right. Jump up your PlayStation 4. Come on, man. You wore that thing out, man.
Yeah, you were. Not just that.
The other side,
D,
like it's done.
D, let me ask you a question, and Mag, too. You guys make a great point. The one thing I've always tried to preach to when people are thinking about upgrading is don't forget Moochonomics. You go and you take your PS4, you get some value for it, even if it's smaller now. I get it. The problem is as we get closer and closer to the PS6 era, or if you want to talk about the hybrid Xbox, I don't know if we're going to get the same values on a PS5 Pro turn-in. Pro maybe a little bit more, sure. But I don't know how much we're going to get on trade-ins moving forward. Is that still going to be a thing? I mean, GameStop, God bless them, they're not even around anymore. I have to travel quite far to get to a GameStop.
Mooch, I'm going to disagree with you slightly.
Now, I hope so. I hope I'm wrong.
With you.
Go ahead, Mac.
This is why. This is my reasonings why. I think that the current series consoles and the PS5s are going to have incredible trade-in values. You know why? Because people simply won't be able to afford those next generation.
That's a great point.
And they're going to hang on to those series and PS5s for years. Hence, why the Switch 1 is still selling and trading in incredibly well because people are not buying. Look, regardless of what people are saying. The reason why the Switch 2, this might be controversial, but for some, the reason why the Switch 2 was the, quote, fastest selling console in America is because it was actually fucking available. If you go back 6 generations of Nintendo, they were never available. They were available for 2 weeks.
Yes.
And then 2 weeks. And then they were gone.
Yeah.
And for 6 months.
There's an asterisk.
And they said it before they launched it, too. They said, we're going to have abundant stock.
Yeah, but there's an asterisk. Mag, a slight asterisk to your Nintendo quote is the asterisk, if you look down at the bottom of the page, said Wii U is also available at all times.
Right, but the Wii U had bad marketing.
That's what I'm saying. No.
Everybody thought
I'm joking.
Wii U was still the Wii.
Yes. No, absolutely.
Because the 85% casuals had no idea what the fuck it was.
Listen, the Switch 2, the Switch 2 gets so much slack in the community, right? And that's fine. I got a Switch 2, and if you sit here and say to me, but if you said to me, but if you guys said to me, am I playing the hell out of it? The answer would be no. Second of all, you would be like, do you see an unbelievable difference in, like, you made that leap? No. So it's really it's been one of the more jagged kind of pills to swallow in console purchases recently.
Why did we buy it? Why did we buy it?
Well, because I'm a Nintendo old hat, D, and honestly, I will always have a Nintendo in the house for the sake of Metroid, for the sake of Bonanza and everything else that came out. Like I can't wait for Zelda, Mario. They're on the way. Right, exclusives.
You proved it. Exclusives matter.
Yes,
exclusives freaking matter. I bought a Switch 2, although I don't play the hell out of it.
No,
I bought it for the Donkey Kong. I bought it for the Mario Kart. I bought it for
Donkey Kong, the upgraded
version of Metroid. For Zelda when it comes, I bought it for the exclusives.
Yeah.
If the exclusives were available on PlayStation, guess what? I wouldn't have a Switch too.
No.
Well, you got to also think how many, like, what is the average percentage? This is just an average percentage of the hardcore of any community, whether it's Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo. Usually about 15%, right? And I said that even to Cold when we did our XNC. I was talking about the Switch 2, and I said, you know what's going to happen, seeing that they have an abundance. I said that the first year, in the first 6 months, they're going to sell to that 15% hardcore immediately, and it's going to break records and this and that or whatever. Blah blah blah. Right. I said, but you watch that after the hardcore has made their purchases because it's readily available, you're going to watch those sales go down. And the why? Go put your finger on the pulse of the average community. And I did that. Okay, I did it. I spoke to all the neighbors that all have Switches in their homes, all the parents at school. I've asked every single one of them, house parties, whatever. I'm like, hey, you guys got a Switch? Yeah. You know how many upgraded to a Switch 2? Zero. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Literally, quote, too expensive. Even my neighbor's wife messaged me, and she said before Christmas, she goes, listen, I want to get my husband a Switch 2 and this and that. She goes, how much do they cost? And I'm like, Jesus Christ. She didn't even know how to figure out how to find the damn thing. Yeah. So I just sent her the Best Buy, and I sent her the GameStop price, and she goes, oh my God, yeah, never mind. He's getting a speaker.
So he's getting a Bluetooth speaker for Christmas. He got a JVC speaker.
People think it's going to be $199 or whatever, $299. When they find out it's here in Canada, the bundle $700.
That's
like, excuse me?
Yeah.
And so nobody, the sales are going to cool. What ends up happening? We see the sales numbers.
If I was, listen, if
I drop.
I joke a little bit, and I got two Canadians on the show right now with Mag and D. I'll tell you right now, if I was you guys, I would have a once a month, be like, kids, everybody, family, extended family, aunts, uncles, we're making a quick trip to the States. Get your lists. Let's go. You know what I mean? You guys can say, even one trip, okay? Stay at a nice hotel, nothing crazy. A Holiday Inn Express, and go shopping. You're saving $350 a purchase here. I mean, for crying out loud.
When I go to Great Wolf Lodge, what do you think I do?
I was going to say, you got to load up.
Stone's throw.
Just load up.
Stone's throw from the border.
You guys are going to start calling us. We're like a duty-free shop at this point.
Yeah, you don't think I zip over there to get stuff?
You gotta. Let me ask you a question though, Mag. You're on the inside of this Xbox Developer Direct. We talked a little bit about Fable, Forza Horizon. They said Beast of Reincarnation. Now, pardon me, I don't remember that. But the question for you,
neither do I.
I don't remember that at all. They announced that like we were all waiting for it. But my question for you is Shinobi. I saw it. It was on X, but it was a post I think from Reddit or something. And they had asked him, he's always very, very, very in the in circle. He said they're going to have a surprise fourth game to reveal. He said, however, I'm not diminishing it, but he said it's not something he's excited for. And for Shinobi to say that, the reason I have a lot of respect for him, a lot of the times of the games he's playing, he's excited for, I usually play him by, not all of them, but probably 85%. He said it wasn't a big shock factor, but there is a surprise game. Have you heard anything about Mag about the surprise game or what we can expect?
First of all, they surprised the hell out of me because I thought for sure. First of all, there was rumors going for weeks back. Even Colt and I talked about it. There could be upwards of like 6 games at this thing or whatever, 7 games, whatever. And then now it turns out there's going to be 4. I'm like, okay, so there's 4.
There's 4.
And I thought 100%. I would have bet my balls that Gears of War E-Day was going to be there and they were going to give a release.
Well, it's not that because I think Shinobi would have loved that. Yeah.
Well, clearly I'm wrong. Clearly I was wrong. It was not wrong, but I mean, it was my speculation. Right. Either way, I said it was Gears. I thought Gears of War E-Day was a shoo-in, and turns out it's not. So I'm like, okay, so Gears of War is not a shoo-in for there. Obviously, they'll show it at the summer showcase then. That being the case, I did not expect Fable. I did not expect what the hell is it called? Beast of Incarnation, Reincarnation.
Yeah.
I made a goddamn video, but I can't remember the name of it. But the funny thing is, when I looked for footage of it to do my video, because I like to splice some footage.
What did you find?
I'm talking about. And I looked it up, and guess what? The first thing I saw it was an advertisement on the PlayStation Store. It wasn't even, but apparently the community has come out and said, Meg, actually, because I said, well, it was obviously shown at a Sony event,
right?
And the community corrected me on that. They're like, actually, it came out. It was actually shown at the last year at the Summer Games Fest for Xbox, and I was like, oh, I had no idea.
I didn't.
So. Therefore, it's going to be day one Game Pass, just like Expedition was, just like Ninja Gaiden 4 was.
Okay.
So that'll be in there. Now, the other rumor that we had heard is that there are going to be 2 third-party games in there. Right? So there are going to be 2 third-party games shown at the Developer Direct.
Okay, one being Beast. And what's the other?
One being Beast. The other one, I mean, there's some speculation out there. Even Colt is saying he thinks it's what the hell's the name of that game? Kiln? I don't know what the fuck that means.
I don't know. I haven't heard of
you
that.
Heard of this game?
No.
Kiln, Kern. Hold on, let me find it. Hold on. I'm gonna. He thinks it might be that. He didn't say it is that.
No, but
it is
Kiln.
What is that?
Isn't that something usually? That's usually what you like dry pottery in. Am I wrong? I don't know. I thought you had to put it in the kiln.
He said it. He's suspecting that. I'm not saying that's fact or whatever, but he's suspecting that. The other thing that we were talking about, like, it's like, well, it's only going to be 4. What happened to this Fallout 3 remake that everybody was talking about for like 2 years?
That'd be fun.
It's not ready. It's not ready. I already know that one.
Okay.
They're waiting for the show because the show is fine. That's why
the show's amazing.
It is a good show.
Because the show is now going to where Fallout 3 is. And also they're reportedly going to New Vegas, hence they're making a New Vegas remake.
But wouldn't you want to release it or talk about it while the show's on and people are talking about it like at work and stuff? Like, hey, did you get to catch the new episode of Fill in the Blank? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why wait till the show's over?
I'm gonna be honest. Fallout 3 remake will probably be like a shadow drop or something.
That's what I would have suspected.
I agree.
Shadow drop here at the developer direct, like they did. Remember Ninja Gaiden Black last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, did they have a countdown timer on the Fallout website for the show? And I'm assuming that countdown timer is for when Fallout 3 remake will go.
How have these shadow drops worked out for them, though? Because I don't think
they haven't. Nib, that's a great point.
Fallout 3 remake doesn't need a big showcase. It's not that that big of a game. Like half the people
need is not the correct word, though. It's what is beneficial to its bottom line, right? If good marketing and everything would help sell copies of the game, then that is what they should do.
Oh, by the way,
they're remaking the game because of the show, though. So, like, people will buy it off the show. They'll be like, "Oh, wait, this is where they are in the show. Oh, here's the game that is in the exact location the show is hosted in." Like,
I don't think people care. Though.
I wish
it's kind of over.
Death Singer. I gotta say that I wish everyone thought about it the way you did, but like, there's no way people would do that.
He's making sense, but
he makes perfect sense. I'm not even saying he's wrong, but
show it at an event where people are going to watch it. By the way, Kiln, thank you, Satanist. You rock, dude.
There was somebody who was like
says that Kiln is a Double Fine game, so that's not a third party game. That would be a first party title. So who the frig knows at this point? I don't know. I give up.
I started playing. What is it there for the keep or keep? What was that song that game?
Oh yeah, the one with the
where you're the light tower or whatever. Buddy, I played that. You can't say I didn't try. I played that for about 3 hours, 4 hours. That did not hold that special Double Fine love like I got from. I played the entirety of Psychonauts 2 and I loved every friggin' minute of it.
Psychonauts 2 is Xbox's game of the generation. I don't give a shit what anybody. That's so far.
That's fine. I'm not going to take that away from you at all. I'm just saying, dude. Like the funny part for me that I think is interesting is just like that whatever that was called, Keeper or Keep. I can't remember. I played it. It was
Keeper. It was called Keeper.
Keeper. Yeah. It did not hold. I hope Double Fine comes out swinging next time because I think they have a talented. I love how they're I love their psychedelic shit, dude. I think it's phenomenal.
Just make a Psychonauts 3.
Yeah, make
almost yes. The game was nominated for Game of the Year. Like why do you say
please make
the Game of the Year? We're gonna make a game about a walking lighthouse.
A lighthouse with a couple of puzzles. Like it really didn't hit, and it's been a while.
James Cameron. Avatar made $2 billion. Let's make Avatar 2.
Yeah.
Avatar 2 made $2 billion. Let's make
Avatar 3. Right.
Like Jesus Christ.
Make Psychonauts 3 for the love of God. I'll endorse that all day long. Shout out also to the Gaming Ledger. I said I would go back to it. Gaming Ledger said, I see irony in some Xbox outlets saying exclusives don't matter, but are still comparing Xbox game output to PS5. And I don't know if he means 2026 or he says, but is 2016 the best year of Xbox? I think he meant 2026. Because every year is the year of Xbox.
Well, we have to wait and see how this release cadence works out. But I mean, as it stands, if they we're gonna see Fable there and not Gears, so that would lead me to believe, just from logic alone, that especially considering that it's going to be a deep dive, I would think that maybe Fable does hit this year. Right?
Because
why would you do a deep dive and say, "Oh, and by the way, it's coming out in 2 years"? Like, what the?
No, you're right.
Like,
yeah,
that wouldn't happen.
I originally thought that Fable had 2027 written all over it. Then the minute that this was announced to be there, I changed my tune as well. I was like,
yeah,
nah.
And I changed my tune very quick this morning. And like I said, I was shocked because I was like, "What? I did not expect that."
Yeah.
But anyways, the point is, if they do release, they're going to be releasing Forza Horizon. If they release Fable and they got Modern Warfare 4 and they drop something else like a what's it called? Like a Gears of War E-Day and Halo Campaign Evolved for their 25th anniversary coming up in the fall in November. That's a good year, man.
It is,
but
that's
a good year.
Here's what's weird, and guys, tell me if
can't argue
I don't
that.
No, Meg, I'm not. I just have a question because I get a headache with this stuff. Like, we're still talking about it like it's the old days where it was Xbox versus PlayStation. Is it a great year for Xbox? Yeah, but like, so GTA, let's say GTA 6 is guaranteed to come out in November. You know what I mean? Are people like, well, this is the year of Take-Two? Like, no one says that. So, like, when people are like, this is the year of Xbox, I'm like, I don't really get the point of that anymore. They're a publisher. Their games are everywhere. They're on PlayStation. They're on Xbox, they're on Switch, they're on PC, they're going to be on the Steam machine, they're going to be on anything, they're on a Lenovo. Like, so when people are like, this is the year of Xbox, like, nobody's like, you know what I mean? Like, no one gets excited. Like, if a really big Star Wars game comes out, this is the year for EA. When a Star Wars game comes out, like, I don't know why people keep saying that anymore. Like, that's old hat.
Well, you know what, Mooch? Because we've been in that for 25 years.
Absolutely, but it doesn't hold. It doesn't hold the same weight, is what I think. That's like, what I'm referring to.
Yeah, it's like memory. It's like muscle memory. You know what I mean? You're just gonna say like it's a different. Yeah, it's a different thing now. Where we were starting to see the trend change in late 23, saying, well, this is
right.
It'll still be a platform. You're still always gonna have to be able to buy some kind
of. But
hardware.
now, I mean, the Series
However,
X,
they're working off of a name now because now they've expanded to a publishing arm.
Yeah.
They've expanded to access. Like, for example, I turn on my, I bought a new monitor, gaming monitor, and you turn it on, and the first thing it asks you if I want to subscribe to Game Pass, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I don't even need a console anymore. Right, just a controller and whatever.
Right,
and so like you could do all those kind of things. So yeah, the game the game Xbox is now synonymous with access.
Like, I don't think about it. I don't think about it, and that's because listen, we all do podcasting. We talk about games all the time, so I get it. But like now, when I just see like Xbox Game Studios, I look at that the exact same way I see EA, Ubisoft, Take-Two. Like
I see your point.
I don't look at it anymore as, wow, Xbox is killing it, because it's not Xbox the platform anymore.
But Mooch, it's just, are those games coming to PS5 day one though? I don't think they are.
I would say 80%.
Yeah, but not the ones you mentioned, right? I know Halo is, but Forza Horizon.
I think Gears E-Day is.
Oh, is it? So Forza and Fable aren't, but the other two are.
They're supposed to, though. They were supposed to, and that's the word that we heard from
that's a great question.
Come out simultaneously on all platforms.
Don't forget too. They made this. Let's not forget something here. Just let's give the developers some credit here for a minute, okay, and give them some time. Like, Microsoft made this decision in 20. Let's say it was 23, 24, right, to do this. Like, these games have been in development for quite some time. So even if they wanted Fable Nib and they wanted Forza Horizon 6 to be on PS5 day one right now, they may need more time to cook. So my point being is that the games that they can quickly expedite on all systems day one, they are. The ones where they cannot, they aren't. You can't say, well, Mooch, no, they're trying to sell more Xbox Series X's. No, they're not. No, they're not. So my point being is like I say 80% right now, Nib, is the answer I have for you. And I think eventually, as we get further and further into 26 and into 27, it's 100% day one on PlayStation.
Well, the thing is, the reason why, from what we understand, that one of the reasons why Project Latitude, not all the games came day one when Project Latitude was finally implemented, is at those times a lot of those games were at the end of their developer cycles, right? For example, Starfield was one of them. Indiana Jones was another one. Forza Horizon was made well before then. But the thing is, those games were already in the the closing stages of development, and therefore there was a delayed release at that point. But then they're saying, but then what we did hear from inside the camp is that after that, which is now, these games that haven't come out yet, they said those games will come day one as, their development cycles were very early on, and they were able to implement a PS5 version of those games, or even a Switch 2 version of some of the games will be coming to Switch 2, right? So there's that as well. But again, now we just have to wait and see. Now, from a business point of view, seeing that they are actually putting a large focus on publishing, I think it would be a fatal mistake, an absolutely fatal mistake, to not launch something as monstrous as Forza Horizon 6 day one. I mean, you'd be missing out on millions of sales right off the bat.
I think if the game is, I think if the game, and we'll find out on January 22nd. I think they'll tell us right then and there. I think Meg, you're right. Too. Right. I think if the game is ready, it launches on PS5 as well. If it's not,
and Fable too. Like, I mean, if you're going to be, having the engagement on Game Pass on Xbox and on PC. That's going to take away some sales of that product or whatever else, and then you don't launch it on the PlayStation 5 or the.
I mean, I personally, man. I don't care. I really don't. Like, that doesn't impact me in either direction. But I'm saying, if you're Microsoft and we've been putting on the Microsoft business hat for a minute, and we see the direction they're going in, you'd want to launch those bad boys all over the place day one.
The only game that I see maybe might have a 3 to 6 month window is Fable. The rest of them are coming day and day, and I still think Fable's coming day and day. That's just the only one I think. Okay, maybe.
No, I thought they already confirmed that Forza Horizon 6 isn't.
Well, that was just a rumor. That was
just common sense tells you. Like, Halo's being released, Gears is being released, Forza Horizon was already released. They want to get the PlayStation fans that haven't played these games,
is it confirmed,
had experiences in these franchises.
I thought it was confirmed on the blog, on the Xbox Wire. Or
no, they didn't confirm it.
Oh, okay.
Also, Mooch.
Yes.
In answer to your what the fourth game's going to be, and he's not excited, I expect it to be something small. Because if you look at the history of Developer Direct, right, the very first one, the surprise feature was Hi-Fi Rush, right? On the second one, the surprise feature was Visions of Mana. And then the surprise feature on the third one was Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
Okay.
So if we're going off that, the surprise feature is going to be of smaller... Would you say scope? Like, not a blockbuster release. So I expect it to be something a bit smaller. And it's probably something that Shinobi is not looking forward to. But it's like not everyone was looking forward to Ninja Gaiden 2 Black or Visions of Mana.
Right. No, that's true, Detzinger, and your point's valid. I do want to quickly correct ourselves here. So I looked it up on, this is Google. It says Forza Horizon 6 will not be on PS5 day one and is launching first on 2026 on Xbox Series X and PC. With a separate post-launch release for PlayStation 5 confirmed by Xbox.
Yeah, I'm reading on the official Forza thing. It says, "Welcome to Horizon." Whatever, excitement for the franchise and other platforms. Turntable Studios bring Forza Horizon 6 to PlayStation 5 post-launch. Yeah, so post-launch.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So it'll probably be 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months. Fable, But again, Nib, I stand.
That's a missed opportunity. You already released Forza Horizon 5 on there,
right?
Like, what are you doing? You think it's going to move Xbox consoles? It's not going to move Xbox.
It doesn't
consoles.
move. Yeah,
you're just shooting yourself in the foot here,
right?
But I don't think they're doing it for that. I think it's probably just like.
They're not ready.
Development.
Yeah, they're not ready.
No. They can be ready.
You think
this is intentional? This is intentional.
What's the intent, though?
To give some sort of value to the fans that have been screaming.
Man, oh man! If that's the case, then Phil's listening to Xbox still too much. Like, or to
then why aren't they doing that with Halo or Gears then?
Yeah, like I don't get it. I think it's just development time, D. I really do. I think it's development time. I don't think it's that because
to be fair, if it is development time, delay the damn game and release it on all platforms at the same time.
That's what, not knowing the financial and not pretending to know what the financial situation is with investors. I would agree with you, D. Yes. I don't know if that's something they can even do, but if it's something in their power to do, I would definitely do that, because I think the caliber of wow factor you're going to get on a release across all platforms. And let's remember something. The reason we're speaking to this is because this is the direction Microsoft is going in. I still think I think it's too late now, but what they should have done is they should have kept everything exclusive and just promoted their box the way that they used to do traditionally.
It's too late.
That horse
say that the reason,
that's over. That's over.
The reason they might be doing that is because Forza Horizon is rumored to fall into the Q4 period, which obviously closes the financial year. Right? So this next quarter is probably going to be a little bit bad, because the rumors are that Call of Duty Black Ops 7 hasn't done too well. So most probably it will be a decline quarter on quarter, because Black Ops 6 did really strong.
Right.
So then the final quarter, what do you want to close it out with? Nothing substantial. You need something to claw back the annual revenue. Otherwise, it's going to look pretty dire, right, to investors and stuff. So it might just be like, okay, yeah, maybe we won't sell as much, but at least, like, you know, it will be the biggest game we have at the time, and it will boost, you know, Game Pass numbers or whatever. They can throw all their, like, typical PR metrics out, like, you know, fastest day one signups and all the rest of it, and try and get something out of it. Mm-hmm. They've already introduced the deals again, the $1 deals. So they're clearly trying to spruce up the PR a little bit going forward.
So let me say something about real quick. Call of Duty and Black Ops 7 and Battlefield 6. I cleared both of them. Let me tell you, Battlefield 6 is so much it's just a superior game. It's so much better. The only edge that I will give to to Call of Duty is their character models. Their character models within game, and in-game cutscenes. It's better.
People still make fun of the fact. Yes. 100%.
The environments, the scale in Battlefield 6,
Listen.
the way the different guns, the attachments, how they fire, the destruction, how the enemies, you shoot them 1, 2 times, 3 times, they're dead. They're not bullet sponges. It's just so much better, man.
Yep. No, there's something to be said for what you're saying, and I finally picked up Battlefield 6. Now, don't get me wrong, I did. I know, Mag. I know. Honestly, if you guys want to jam out, I'd be free tomorrow night to jam out a little bit.
Wait, did you not have Battlefield 6 all this time?
No, I picked it up over the winter sale.
Yeah, we need to run it, man.
Yeah, I will. If you're free tomorrow, Nib, I would like to do that, honestly, because I've been playing. And shout out to Mag. Give Mag his props. Last night he was streaming Black Ops 7, which I was lurking. But I was enjoying it, and you know, I still enjoy the twitchy gunplay of Call of Duty. Shout out to Slow-Mo Backslap, who couldn't make it tonight, but Slow-Mo's still playing. Between me, Mag, and Slow-Mo, I think we're the only ones holding it up in the community still. I don't know who else has played Black Ops. I can't find anybody else.
You know what? The funny thing is, Battlefield is such a superior game in a lot of ways, but you know what? There is an addictive. There's an addictive loop to that Call of Duty thing where you just can't, you know what I mean? Like, I played the campaign with my wife and my son.
Yep.
We all got to combat level 60 in Endgame. All 3 of us.
Oh, nice.
Just the 3 of us ran through that, had an absolute blast doing it. And I realized, you know, the thing is, it may not
be. Well, you enjoyed the campaign?
No, I didn't. Well, it was okay, but I think it was more about enjoying the company that I was with. And you know what I mean? Like, I think it was more about that. And then you know what I mean, like ignoring the gigantic guy from what's it called, from Walking Dead, you know, Zorbu or whatever the hell he is from Guardians of the Galaxy.
I honestly thought the campaign was one of the most embarrassing things.
It was. I gave the game a 5.4 out of 10 when I reviewed it on my channel.
5.4.
Here's the funny thing is, I'm still playing the thing because I'm a fraud. I'll tell you right now. I'm sitting there going, okay, I need 3 more kills in order to get the candy cane gun. And I'm like, God damn it, Mag. You are such a fraud. Like, it's like crack.
It is. It is like crack. I don't know what it is. I do.
You want to be back at home.
Yeah.
You don't want to be living in the underpass of the highway.
Right.
You want to be back with your family, but you keep doing it.
You keep doing it.
You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, like, and just now my wife walks in the door, right? She just finished work. And she goes, zombies? And I'm like, God damn it. You see what I mean?
My biggest problem with zombies, and I don't get it. There's a huge lore. That's something that still keeps Black Ops like very, very much in the public eye. They love zombies. My problem with zombies is how do you know? And don't give me the old I went on YouTube and looked it up. I've tried. How do you know where to go? Like, you got to go over here and you get like a wrench, and then you walk over into this store, and if you put the wrench over here, you get the gumball. You take the gumball, you walk over to the church.
I know, it's stupid.
What?
They have a directed mode now where it actually shows you with mark, like with waypoints.
Okay.
Like if you pick a mission, and it says go over here and do this, go over here and do that, go over here,
and then you can do that. So that way you can do it while you're enjoying the hordes. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Fine.
So now what they did, when you go to zombies, you go to the thing, it says directed.
Okay.
And then you go to that, and then it'll literally just tell you what to do as if you picked a mission in an RPG.
Okay,
you know what I mean? So it'll say, I think
that's great. Right, exactly. That's fine. And don't get me wrong, by the way, that's not cheesing it at all. Because who the hell knows when you got hordes of zombies following you to go run around and look for a gumball that's hiding underneath one of the buildings?
Yeah,
come on, man.
Know?
I have no idea. I said that to someone who plays it religiously. I go, how do you know that? They're like, well, I put 175 hours into it. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Like, that's insane. Not for zombies. Get out of here. Like I said, I want to enjoy it. I like horde mode in it. That's fine. It's fantastic. But that's great. I didn't know they had a director's vision like that. That's fine.
Now they have a directed mode. They added
directed
that,
mode.
Okay.
Because
people are like, dude, what are we talking?
What are we doing?
Like, knock it off.
What are we doing here? You know?
No one gives a shit about the content. We didn't say it was good. I'm enjoying it with my family. I was about to call you a really bad word. I was going to call you a Call of Duty word, but we're not going to do that here. You know what I'm saying?
No,
it's just like it's fun. It's stupid fun. Like, think about this. Do you ever have a bad movie that you just watch?
Oh yeah.
Just like you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I really like? I can't remember the name of the movie. It was like a movie from the 80s.
It's always from the 80s.
Dragon or
it's always from the 80s. Yeah.
It was like the kung fu movie that takes place in Harlem. D-Batch, help me up. Who is the master? Show enough.
Oh, that's what's his name there?
Year of the Dragon.
No, I can see it.
Yeah.
Is that it?
The Dragon.
Okay,
and
the
something of the Dragon.
The bars. Remember that? To the beat of the rhythm of the night. You remember that song? Okay, that movie is a 0 out of 10, except for Shonuff. Shonuff is a 10 out of 10. He's my favorite character ever. It is a terrible movie. I watch it every 6 months religiously.
Yeah.
The guilty pleasure, basically.
Yes.
Guilty pleasure. This is exactly what this is, and I'm having fun with the community. I played with 6 channel members last night.
The Last Dragon.
We had a
Last Dragon. That's it. The Last Dragon.
Okay.
Yes.
We had a blast doing it. And it wasn't even about the content.
No, I get it.
We were just having fun.
Yeah.
And when I'm playing with my wife and my son, we were having a blast.
How do you have your Meg? How do you have your setup though? How do you have your setup though? Does the missus play right next to you, or is she upstairs, separate room?
She has her own.
No, I know she has. I know she has her own PS5.
We play online.
Yeah, but is she in like a separate part of the house?
Yeah. She's got her own.
That's cool. That's cool. No, I like that. I like that.
Dude, my wife is a hardcore gamer, man. She's 174 hours into Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Holy shit! Listen, I know it's after Christmas, but she's a patron saint for that.
Yeah. No, she games
God
like 7
her.
days a week, so she's doing that. My
God
son
bless her.
games in his room. My daughter games in her room, and whatever.
That's cool. That's very cool.
So
that's very.
We also game share. Anyway,
I'll say this about COD though, man. As much as the story was. It was campy, but it did kind of give you that Last Dragon feel. Although it was campy, and I think the story was trash. Don't get it twisted. Yeah. At the same time, it was kind of fun though. Apart from the obvious.
Let me ask you guys a question because
I felt it. I thought it was so ridiculous. It was almost a parody. Honestly.
Yeah. It wasn't Call of Duty, man. I just played it, and the gunplay was fine, and it was something to play, and I played it, but it just wasn't COD, No, I don't want to say that it wasn't an enjoyable experience.
Let me ask you guys a question real quick, because this is something that's kind of ramping.
Just on one level with
this is something that's ramping up, and it's a problem, guys. And shout out to, I'm going to say his name wrong, Malagote T. Anyways, he says Mooch has been on Ark Raiders too much. So I was saying this behind the scenes. You guys know it. I've got about 140 hours in Ark Raiders now.
Good lord!
That was my indulgence over the holiday break. I played that to death. But that's not the point. That's not where I'm going with this. My problem right now is it's all over the place. People have written the Ark. The Embark is the studio about the cheaters. It's getting worse and worse. The big streamers are no longer willing to even play it because it's getting so bad.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Well, my question is not. Well, it's exactly what you think it is. I mean, there are
a lot of rats in there now.
There's just there's ways to hack things. There's ways that they can actually hide in certain areas within the where you actually export out. You can actually hide in areas you shouldn't be able to. There's also
spotting you.
They're also spotting you.
And
yes,
it to other people.
I actually watched
scumbags.
I watched a Tim the Tap Man. I think it was Nick Merckx and another person, and I actually watched the cheating occur. They were all the way around the corner in the bottom of, I want to say it was, I think it was blue, and they were down in the bottom of that map, and they're there, and there's no way anybody would have seen. Then one of them dies. And I think it was Tim. He crawled all the way around and hid while the other three were fighting all the way. He moved all the way down. They got done fighting. This guy just turned around and walked right to where he was, and he buried himself. And he's like, come on, man. He's like, this is so blatantly cheating. And it was so bad. And this is what's going on. There's spotters now, so you can actually spot people. Once you know where people are, I mean, that game that's done, right? So It's just we got this problem in Call of Duty Warzone. We've got this problem in Ark Raiders. And it's funny, shout out to Crap Gamer. Crap said this like 10 years ago. He's like, the problem is once we kind of get, and the reason I bring it up is, and I'm not pointing the finger, I was playing it on a PC, is a lot of this stuff didn't really happen in the masses that it did when console gaming was kind of, now that it's PC.
That was back in the M&C days.
That's right. And I mean, to be honest with you, now that it's PC driven, here's my point. The question's for the entire thing, but D and Detzinger, I don't think Embark, I don't think Treyarch, I don't think Raven, I don't think the folks at Battlefield 6, I don't think any of these people can solve the problem, because the minute they do solve a problem and make it a little better, well, and Detzinger says it all the time in the show, not in relation to the cheaters. He'll be like, oh, just give the mod community or just give the PC community some time. They'll break that. The whole point is like, the thing is everyone's playing on PC that's streamers, and they love PC, and they're like, I got my PC and this and that. Meanwhile, they're like, screw this game, there's too many cheaters, but it's on PC. And it's like, that's my question to you guys is, will they ever be able to fix this, or will there always be somebody in the PC community that can outdo a PC or a cheater's, what they try to do, like when they did, I can't remember, Ratchet or Ricochet. Remember they did Ricochet in Call of Duty? They're like, no more cheaters. That lasted like a half an hour. Like, is there a fix?
It's something.
Sorry, I was gonna say, before D takes off, I gotta go.
Okay. Sorry, Mag. My bad, Mag.
I gotta get going. Yeah.
All right, buddy. Hey, thanks, buddy. We will definitely promote the channel, buddy. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. No. I'm not gonna derail the show. I put a link in the chat. If anybody's interested, come check me out. Listen, man. I'm here for gamers. I'm not here for any other bullshit. So I'm there for gamers. Right. Whatever else. I'm 50 years old. We have a good time when we play. It's Xbox guys, PlayStation guys,
that's
PC
right.
guys. We
have
all
a good time,
and we don't talk about any of that bullshit. So we have a good time. And we try to keep it nice and positive.
Good for you, Mag.
You guys have a great rest of the show. I'll catch it on the back end.
Thank you, buddy.
I'll talk to you guys soon. Chat, you guys are amazing. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Later, dude. Have a good one.
Right,
thanks, man.
Later, boys.
D, what do you think when it comes down to it? Because Detzinger's always said, just give the PC community time. They'll work their way around it.
No, there's always like it's a lot better than it used to be, and I'll stop those exploits. But at the same time, I don't think it's something we'll ever be able to get rid of just for sheer nature.
That's kind of like, it's disheartening though, in a sense, right? I mean, like, I will tell you this much. I have definitely played in sessions where people had, we thought that there was cheaters, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it doesn't bother me, but to me, when you're playing a game like Warzone or you're playing a game like Ark, if it's not something I notice back to back, and it just happens like maybe one every like 20 rounds or something, I just, I mean, in Ark, it kind of sucks because when you get beat in Ark, you do lose shit that you've inherited, earned, or built, right? So it's not like Warzone where it's like, let's run it back. Like Warzone's easy to run it back because you don't lose shit. But like you do lose stuff in Ark, and sometimes it's like insane.
You don't get it back.
You don't get it back. So like I will
say,
why
did I take it? Damn it!
Right. Yeah. Why did I bring the Venator here? Why did I do that? So like, I get that. I guess I don't want to put a doom and gloom on it, but Detzinger got me thinking. Like, I don't think this is ever gonna. And he wasn't referring to this. He was referring to mods and things like that. But I don't think you're ever gonna get away with like, because people are like pissed off. D. They're like they're yelling at the Embark. And Embark's like, we see it, we agree, we're working on it. But I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, we do realize that once they fix that cheat, they're just gonna work. They're gonna have a workaround, and they're gonna
not necessarily a workaround for the same cheat.
Okay,
a workaround for new style of cheat, right? Because kind of I hear you. It's disheartening. It's kind of the nature of PC. Now, this is one area where consoles, you don't have to deal with that.
Not as much. I mean, because if you say that, everyone on PC will be like, "Yeah, there's cheating in console too." But it's a lot less.
It's a lot less, and that's another thing. It's not advantageous to Steam console because they're running Linux. A lot of those anti-cheats don't run on that, right? So some of those games you won't even be able to play on that console.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I mean,
overall, I don't think you can stop it. I think it's just the nature of the beast, man.
You can't, because you have to understand how they're cheating, right? On PC, it's through software, right?
Yeah.
Now, you can't do that on console because they have it locked down. So what they do is hardware. As they found out in Apex Legends, on console, in ranked on Apex Legends, a huge majority of people on console use modded controllers or like the Zen and other adapters that run scripts like no recoil and whatnot. And it's a massive problem in Apex Legends. And it's particularly in ranked on console. And it's the highest tier, which is Predator. Is rampant in there. People using scripts through the Chronos Zen, etc. So they have no recoil.
Yeah.
Other like scripts. So the only way you could do it on console is through hardware. Now the thing is, they keep releasing this hardware.
Yeah.
Now there's nothing you could do about that because it's external. It's not like software based. It's hardware based. So the only way you could stop that is by making sure the hardware doesn't work on your console. But how do you do that? That's down to PlayStation. The developer can't do shit about that. So it's a weird thing where, yes, there is definite cheating on console. It's more widespread on PC, but then it's easier to do. So, of course, it'd be more widespread, you know. But it's like, it's accelerated a bit more on console. And it's just something that you can't deal with. Because you could deal with the software issue, but you can't deal with the hardware issue. Now, on PC, you don't need to worry about the hardware issue because it's a software issue. So either way, you're still fucked.
Yeah.
Like, you can't beat it. Like, there is no win scenario here. It's just how can we mitigate it, I guess, is the best scenario.
But the problem is, you know, and I say this all the time, and I've said this to you guys on the channel, like, I don't know if we all realize, I think you guys do, but do we really, the streamers today, and I am not talking about Mooch TV over on twitch.tv, go over and check that out. I'm talking about the big guys. When these guys stop playing a game, like, a game loses a lot of its, like, push, you know, and it's like look at Warzone, right? Warzone was doing what Warzone did, period. I don't care what anybody says. But now, if you look at Twitch, and I know Twitch is it's not a measurement like when you go to Steam active users. It's not the same thing. But hear me out for a second. You used to have Warzone guys that was getting viewership somewhere between 60 and 80,000 viewers on prime time. Now you have Ark Raiders that's well over 100,000 viewers on Twitch alone. That doesn't include YouTube gaming. Okay, and you have Warzone that's somewhere sometimes between 14,000 and 25,000 viewers. That is a massive drop off. And now people are like, Warzone and Call of Duty are dead. You know, it's because it's not the cool thing to watch anymore, or the cool thing to play anymore. Doesn't mean it can't come back. Absolutely not. That doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean the game sucks either. But I'm just trying to say to you, so once you have a cheat system in there that's not working, and people, and like D felt it right away when I said it, because I've been playing. This is a different animal, Death Singer, where in Ark, you don't just reset and you're like, who cares? Mooch, you just got in a shitty lobby. Just deal with it and move on. Start over. In Ark, you don't start over. In Ark, you lose valuable equipment. And if it happens back to back to back, I mean, you could be losing weapons. Now, all of a sudden, you're just doing free loadout runs. And I mean, there's a time and a place for free loadout runs. But you don't want to be doing that all the time because you don't want to keep losing a Volcano, or you don't want to keep losing a Tempest, or you don't want to keep losing a Venador. You know what I mean? Those are guns that are hard to either find when you're looting, or they're hard materials to find to craft. So, like, this is not a situation where you're like, just reset and start over. You can't start over. You lost your shit. So that's what I'm saying. You take a great game that could, you know, cheating could ultimately like hurt this game more than it hurts even other multiplayer games.
Well, I mean, cheating also is on other games. Like Tarkov has its fair share.
That would be another one. That would be even worse, I think. Yeah.
thing is, it's like a lot of people deal with it. A lot of people don't deal with it. They either quit the game or go somewhere else, or they still play because they try and do something about it, and it's not as rampant as it used to be, or they tried to cut down on cheaters. So it's like clearly cheating still happens, and you just can't get rid of it. But I think people who enjoy the game will still play the game despite the odd cheater, because it's not like a vast majority of the game is cheating, right?
Right.
It's only a small subset.
That's right.
Even if it's only like 5% of players in total of Ark Raiders are cheating, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's still not enough to put most people off, because more than likely the odds are in your favor. You won't come across one, right? Mm-hmm. And even if you do, you can report them, and then the devs could look at it, and hopefully they get banned or whatever.
Good point, Detzinger. Let me add that caveat. Yes, so you can report a cheating situation. It has been reviewed. I know people. You do get an email in the game from the devs, and whatever you did lose in that, if they found that it was cheating, I have seen people get those items back. But I mean, every time you play a game and you feel there's cheating, now you have to put a claim in. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, that's a great game today. Yeah, you too, Mooch. Did you put your claim in for that one round where you lost all your shit? Oh, no, I forgot. I got to go in and put a claim. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's not how we don't want a game and have that as part of the game. Like, have fun, put your claim in for cheating, move on. It's weird. It's just it's odd.
Like, people are too competitive. It's like the Apex Legend thing, right? Predator is the top prestige rank, right? If you want to say you're good at the game, you're gonna flex that you're Predator, right? So if I said, "Oh, shut up, noob, I'm a Predator," right? That means you're the tippy top of the game. If I cheated to get there, that doesn't matter, because I can now flex on you that I am what this is, and you can't prove otherwise because it's the internet, right? I could tell you right now, oh, by the way, I'm Challenger 1200 LP on League of Legends, right? There's no way you could check. You just have to take my word for it. But if I show you a screenshot and it says exactly that,
right?
I might have cheated to get there, but you don't know I cheated to get there. You just see the result.
Right.
You don't see the method to get there. But that means then I can flex on you. If you're someone in like gold, I could be like, look, you peasant, you're in gold still. I cheated to get where I am. It's not my genuine skill, but I can do it. Self-satisfaction, narcissism. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things can go into it. And it's just unfortunate in Ark Raiders, there's bigger consequences to cheating.
Shout
in
out
these competitive games, there isn't those consequences.
Agreed. Shout out to Babor. The show can start now. Babor Country is here. He says PC is always the most shittiest way to game. Singer knows.
Babor, no, it's not the most shittiest. It's one of the best ways to game.
He just throws that.
It's not if, like him, you need all your heroines to have jiggly titties and friggin' skimpy out.
No, PC is the best way to game because, when you experience path tracing on Cyberpunk
and physics, right, Nib? And the physics, the superior physics.
If I was forced to play Cyberpunk on console now,
this dude is still talking about this 2020 release game, and we're half a decade later.
Yeah, half a decade. No, but it's so.
It reminds me of when he goes on about widescreen, and he doesn't even have a widescreen one.
No, wait a minute.
I do actually have a widescreen, but I have
what?
a widescreen.
When did this happen? Literally a few shows ago.
You know what's funny though? You know what's funny though, Detzinger? And I will say this because I'm glad Nib brought that up. So I do notice PC gamers always use now Cyberpunk is the new that's the model,
that's because it
right?
Is the benchmark.
Well, before what was the do you remember the benchmark I remember PC gamers using all the time before? And I don't remember the game, but it was the Crytek. Crisis. Yep. Crisis. Yeah. PC gamers would never console can't even play Crisis right. Now it's Cyberpunk. Yeah.
But it's like
no, I don't disagree with you, Destinger. That is what you're rating it off of. I get it. It's got ray tracing. It's got everything. I mean, it is bells and whistles. I got you.
No. It's got path tracing, but it's like
or path tracing.
If I went to a console and played Cyberpunk now,
Yes.
I would throw myself and the console out the window because I couldn't go back.
Do you hear how much he hates
after witnessing path tracing? I can't go back to that basic shit.
Wait a minute, that singer. I implore you. If you ever win a scratch off ticket or whatever you guys have over in Wales, where you can, I would love it if you would go pick up a PS5 Pro, because if you played Cyberpunk, I played it on PC and I've played it on PS5 Pro. I will say, of course, there's a difference. Of course, there's. I don't think you would jump out of a window of a skyscraper because you were playing it on a PS5 Pro. I don't think it would kill you that much. I think it would be. No, but
the thing is, why would I?
The path tracing is pretty crazy. Right?
The thing is, though,
I believe
it. When you put the mods on it too, oh my.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean by the mods, D?
They have never witnessed them.
I ain't playing the game that long to have the mods.
Nah,
5 years later.
That's a good game that I keep going back to. Like once in a while, when I got like an extra hour and moving around, I go back to Cyberpunk. That's just.
But do you play it just to admire the visual? I play the game.
I play it because I like the game. It's a good game.
Yeah, it's a good game. Cyberpunk is generally a good game. And
I love Cyberpunk. But
this shows you so many years later, it's still selling. It's still being talked about.
Well,
it's still getting updates.
Here's the thing.
It's like for itself.
Yeah.
It's like I always hear people talk about my graphics, my this, my that, my this. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this. And I'm looking at this and going, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about if you're saying you're the pinnacle of graphics over there. You are nowhere near the pinnacle of graphics.
I would have thought, come on, Death Stranding 2.
And to be fair,
well, Babor is
looks amazing. Amazing.
So Babor says this. That's in a real good. Babor comes back. He says, "What's the point of path tracing? They still look worse than Death Stranding. We can see graphics. It's a step down. You sound like Digital Foundry."
That's
crazy. No. You trust me. Witness it for your own two eyes, path tracing on Cyberpunk. Then come back to me and look at that and tell me these are equal. They are not in the same playing field. They both really
come on, dude.
Games.
Of course, have you even played Death Stranding 2? Yes, of course they are.
They're not in the same field.
Obviously, Death Stranding 2 is not gonna, it doesn't have path tracing, so it's not gonna be as accurate in terms of real proximity. But what it does do is have insanely realistic GI pre-baked and stuff, right? With all their multiple settings and stuff. But it's like high data amounts of GI approximation. So it's like, like how you remember back in the day, Assassin's Creed, what was the one that had big crowds and stuff?
I remember that as the colonization.
It was so ahead of the time visually. Like the lighting was so amazing.
Unity?
Because they had the really...
yeah, I think it's Unity.
I think it was Unity.
Yeah, Unity. Yeah, Unity, because they had the high approximation bakes. And this is kind of like Death Stranding 2's taking it to the next level. So yeah, it's not path tracing, but a lot of that stuff you don't necessarily notice unless you're really, really paying attention to the details. Right?
Death Singer DJ Marshman says, is there any other game on Cyberpunk's level on PC?
Honestly, no.
I gotta get out of here, Mooch. Sorry, bro.
No, D, that's all right, buddy. I kept you for 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's a blessing in disguise. D,
you always.
Hey, D, this was a killer episode, man. I gotta tell you, the conversation was flowing like wine. D, great to have you here, buddy, as always. I'm gonna actually, after this topic, I even told the guys I'm impressed with myself, to be honest with you. I'm kind of under the weather, and I made it 2 hours and 40 minutes. I told them I was gonna go 2 hours. So D, thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you. And if you want to plug the channel, please do, buddy.
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, check me out at dbatch on YouTube, d_batch on X. My last video on YouTube, I compared DualSense, the new version 4.5 versus 4. So you can see that. And I think it's a great update. If any of you guys out there on PC that have a 30 or 20 series card, you get better image quality. Depending on what preset you choose, you're going to get relatively close to the same performance that you got before. 20 series cards, they take maybe 10-15% hit on a FPS depending on quality or performance, preset L or M. But overall, it's a great update, so just check the video. Thanks for having me, Mooch. I'm out of here, man. And like I said earlier, now's the time to buy something. If you're on the fence on a PlayStation 5, go grab it. On a PlayStation 5 Pro, go grab it. I don't think there's a reason to grab an Xbox. If anything, jump over to PC where all Xbox games live and you can play them at the highest fidelity.
That's right. Shout out to D. D, thanks for being here, buddy. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, D.
Take care, guys.
So the other question I'm seeing here from Silver Wolf, he says, Mooch, what is a PC-only game that pushes PC to the limit? So what's a PC game, that singer, that pushes PC to the limit that's not on console?
There isn't really one, because there isn't that many PC-only developers like that. It's mostly, obviously, the third party and other people's games coming over.
Yeah.
But it's like, you take the games and you push the boundary, right? So console's the baseline, but depending on your rig, depends how far you go. Like, if you have a 5090 or something, you're going to experience a vastly different version to even like the PS5 Pro, right? If you're running a 4080, you're going to experience a different version. Because there's lots of newer tech, the latest tech, and you have lots of hardware and power. So if you want to experience the best graphics of a game, that's where you do it. So it's like we both have the same game, but I have a 1,000 horsepower Ferrari, and you have a 300 horsepower, I don't know, BMW or something, or 400 horsepower BMW.
I think a lot of times, and don't get me wrong, so you make some great points, Destinger, and don't get me wrong, it's hard for me. I have both scenarios, but so DJ Marshman, he comes back, he says, and he's joking, but he makes a good point. So he goes, is Cyberpunk the only one, LMAO? He goes, come on, man. Like, so the thing about it is like, Destinger, at the end of the day, so we talked about it quickly. Like, Avowed is coming out to PS5, right? And when it's coming, it's going to be, it's going to have New Game Plus, new races to play, a brand new weapon type, photo mode. Like, if you were to play PS5 Pro Avowed and you played PC Avowed, listen, of course, you're going to sit here. I'm not going to even argue with you. PC one's probably going to be better, right? In your scenario with your card, but
yes, it's up to the individual.
But it won't be a massive. Like, I think what DJ Marsh is trying to say is, unless you're picking, like, you're hand picking a Cyberpunk or you're hand picking a Crytek engine game,
particular scene,
yeah, it's not
Digital Foundry even said some scene. The pre-baked lighting is better because it's been the thing with pre-baked lighting, right? Is artists set the scene, so they're like, okay, we want a bit more light on his face here. We want the green hue here, so it's kind of like exaggerated. It's a bit like a movie director. You like set the scene exactly how you want it to look, but obviously with path tracing, it's just real. So wherever the light source is where the light is going to be, not necessarily how you want it to look. Right. I'm not saying, obviously, that for the majority of it, that's not impacting, but there are, especially on interior scenes and stuff like that, they actually said a lot of the times in interior scenes, it looks better non-path traced, again, because it's artist set.
So,
but the thing I always find with these conversations is, like, it's still using the same or similar textures, obviously slightly higher settings, same assets, same animations, same character models, and all this stuff. And I always find this as someone who, like, even I would say going from like PS4 to PS5 and stuff with certain games. Yes, obviously you get higher resolution, bells and whistles, but it's never a dramatic game. Even though the hardware performance is significantly higher, because you're always beholden to the same assets, same base engine, right? It's seldom as dramatic as they make out, and even then, Cyberpunk is the exception. Most games, it's like marginal. In fact, some games, like especially with the PlayStation stuff, Digital Foundry has said multiple titles now in a row have had barely much benefit at all. So I don't know.
But that is also down to how much the developer works on the port. Because it's like, we're not going to sit here and pretend me running Alan Wake 2, you running Alan Wake 2 on the Pro is going to be the same experience. You have to be out of your freaking mind.
But hold on a second.
They are going to be two completely different games.
Here's the thing. Let me ask you a question on DJ. This is DJ Marshman. He goes, my next question is, what is the cheapest PC price to play Cyberpunk? Or now you just use another example, Alan Wake 2 at that level. What's the cheapest price to get that quality you're talking about, that singer?
That's a very complicated question, because you have to... saying that is, it's like, okay,
Alan Wake 2 runs bad on everything.
Like, what parts you picking, what motherboard you picking, what CPU, what's your budget?
Well, no, he's not asking that. That's not what he's saying. He's saying in order to get to the path tracing look of Cyberpunk that you just said is absolutely the best of the best, like, or not even the best of the best, pardon me, because that would be escalated to the top level price, right? I'm saying to get to where you say the difference escalates from the PS5 Pro to where you're saying path tracing takes that cake and takes it and runs with it. Like, what kind of price point are we talking about? You know what I mean? The cheapest price of entry.
No, that's like impossible because, again, this is what I said to you just now. It isn't a one size. It's not a console. It's not a one size fits all. You have to take into account what brand you're buying, what parts you're buying, how much you have to spend on said parts. There's like 10 different motherboards and they're all going to cost different money. Like, they're not all the same price. So it depends on the brand. Like an Asus or an MSI is going to cost more than a Zotac or a Gigabyte.
I see where you're going.
And there could be hundreds of pounds of difference.
Yeah, but
they're the same thing.
But certain components hold more weight into what path tracing and the graphics and the performance will be than the motherboard.
Okay, but then I can't give a price. I could only give the stats.
Well, you could give you could give a roundabout. You could be off by, plus or minus 400.
A total rig to run path tracing. I mean,
decently. Like, you don't have to. You know what I mean? To say where it's noticeably different than the console. That's all.
I
know what you mean. I know what you mean, Death Singer. You're not wrong. I'm just saying you could give a ballpark. Like the case, you could buy a case. You could buy
today's price.
Wait, no, because Death Singer. Let me play your game for a second. You could buy a case that costs $2,000. You could buy a case that costs $500. Like, but the case doesn't affect the path tracing. You know what I'm trying to say? It doesn't affect the look of the game. I understand your personal preference, but what I'm saying to you is
so minimum. Right, the minimum graphics card recommended for path tracing is a 3090, and that's at 1080p 30 FPS.
Oh, jeez.
Or a 4070 path tracing is demanding as hell. It's way more demanding.
Get it to at least 60 frames for the guy's question.
Well, he said, "What's the minimum?" Right. So I'm giving you the minimum. I'm not guaranteeing what frame rates and whatnot.
Is that 30 but dropping frames though? Because that's not going to.
That would be 30. But if you're using DLSS, you're not dropping frames. That's just native. You drop frames. But DLSS at that point would take over. But it's because it's like for me to achieve the frame rates I'm getting in the game, I have to use DLSS, right? So it's kind of a crutch, but that's just how demanding path tracing is.
I remember seeing. I remember seeing a video even with I don't know if it was the 4070, maybe the 4070 Ti, and in like the forest area with path tracing, it was like dropping below 30.
It's like, for example, a 4070 Ti at 1440p to hit 60 FPS, you need DLSS and frame generation.
Yeah, the frame generation is like... So the other thing, it's really interesting you mentioned that, right? Frame gen, I would not recommend it with Alan Wake 2. I don't know if it was DF or someone did a test, and the input latency difference, frame gen, for some reason, is significantly higher in Alan Wake versus most games. It was almost like double the input latency. So, you're getting, yes, you might get a smoother looking experience, but it's going to be a substantially less smooth in terms of actual gameplay and input.
Thing is, it's like with DLSS active, you generally don't drop frames. It's like if you try to run it native without DLSS, you're gonna run into problems because it's just so demanding. That's why like the PS6, if they're gonna have path tracing and whatnot, it needs to be like mega horsepower. These next gen consoles, because cards that you would say are matching or superior to what consoles have now, power for power wise, they still can't run it at what you would expect it to run at. Like for me, 1440p, I still have to I still have to turn on DLSS, despite I'm way stronger than the PS5 Pro, like by margins. But it's like I still need to rely on this shit in order to get a frame rate that I deem acceptable. So it's like, if I'm having to do that on what I'm currently running, like the console is gonna have to overmatch.
As it is right now, with the RAM price increases, SSD increases, and all the rest. How much is what GPU do you use, and how much is your rig worth? Like right now, realistically,
let me see how much
today's
my
current
GPU
pricing,
is right
let's
now.
see how much your rig is worth.
Let me see. Shall I just look at Amazon or something?
Yeah.
Let me have a look at
partpicker.com.
Well, my graphics card right now. Oh, there it is. It's currently right now Gigabyte GeForce 5070 Ti 780 right now for my graphics card. Right, so now we have to drop my CPU. Hang on, which is that's 800 right now for my graphics card. CPU.
Are you talking GBP or dollars?
I think mass producer goes 10 minutes later. Like honestly, so it sounds like we're somewhere in the vicinity of like $1,800.
Yeah, somewhere like that. Yeah.
There you go.
Is that GBP?
you like that?
Yeah. No,
Chat,
that's in GBP.
Chat, you like that? I just quickly threw a couple of numbers.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. I need to clarify this. That's GBP. He's talking like $2,600, $700. And just to put it in perspective, right? PS5 Pro during Black Friday, I think it's still on sale, was what, like $550? So he's talking about being 4 times more expensive.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's not.
It's not like it's trivial. When PC, that's the thing. That's the only thing.
But
Detzinger,
it's the price.
A lot of times, that's why I always try to bring it back to. It's not that I'm a fan of just one thing. I understand. Believe me, I know where you're coming from. I really do. But I think a lot of times you surround, and all of us do. You surround yourself, and you're like, I'm in the Discord. A lot of people, they all have like PC. So they're all talking about like. Majority of people that are looking to spend money, that's why they're asking these questions in the chat. They're like, okay, I hear you. They're like, I hear you and I like what I'm hearing. But what are we talking about here? And for people to go and spend anywhere from $1,800, we sit here and we talk about how $800 and $900 is crazy for a PS6. That's insanity. And then in the very next segment, we're okay with, we're like, well, $2,600 is actually not so bad when you break it down.
But it's like, thing is PC is pay for what you get. Everything
it's like diminishing returns, dude.
No, PC is pay for what you get at the end of the day. It's like
no, but what I mean is in terms of look, I understand, right? My headphones are worth nearly $2,000. Do they sound $2,000 better than like my other set of headphones? Obviously not. There's probably like maybe 15 to 25% in it, but it's the micro margin that you pay the premium for. I get it, right? I get it.
I understand,
yeah. Yeah, when you say, like, you get what you pay for, I know that with my headphones, 99.999% of the global consumer base would not say, I get what I pay for. They would say it's a rip-off.
Right.
And I think, like, most people, if you showed them, like, the differences between a PS5 Pro and in the vast majority
and then showed the price
and said for the price you could pay an extra £1,500 or whatever.
That's singer.
But then again, you're completely missing the point, right? If you have a beast rig, there's a reason you have a $4,000 rig, right? You have a $4,000 rig because you don't want compromises. You want 4K. 120 plus FPS at ultra settings, right? You want the creme de la creme. You want your shit to look as best as it can be. So you went out, you spent your money, and you made sure you got the creme de la creme. The console is not meant to be the full creme de la creme. It's supposed to be easy access, cheap, good performance for the price. And it's supposed to be for the mass market. Now, that's why like a 4090 is only like 2% of the GPUs, a 5090s, right?
Right.
Because only 2% actually wants the creme de la creme. The rest of the people are okay with what they have, so you buy for yourself. Whereas a console is not that. A console is a mass market. Here's a cheap way to get into gaming, and you get great performance for the price, and that's what you get, right? So it's like it's for everyone. A beast PC isn't for everyone. Because one, not everyone cares.
No, but you know what's funny?
Not everyone's willing to spend the money.
Your example PC is exactly the same example as Nib's headphones. I'll tell you. So this happened back when remember when plasmas were the big thing? This is way before the OLEDs really kicked off. I'm going back to.
I mean, I had a Kuro, dude.
Right,
I understand.
I had a
Pioneer Kuro.
I had the Pioneer Kuro as well. I paid top dollar for that. TVs for me are my thing. Like that's what I love. I always want. But so this very, very sad story I'm going to share with you guys. Buddy of mine comes and visits me, right? He's living in Boston at the time, comes and visits me. And I just got the Kuro. And he goes, oh, this and that. And I told him all about it. And I told him how it's just unbelievable. The colors, this and that. It does things that you can't get on, like the Panasonic, can't compare, this and that. I'm going through all these specs with him, right? And he sits down and we're watching The Dark Knight. Great movie. And we're sitting there, we're watching it. And I go, so do you see the difference? You see it? After I told him, and he's like, I got to tell you, man. He goes, kind of looks like my TV. And I was like, what? I know. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I have this with my wife all the time.
And I'm
she's like,
I paid top dollar for that Kuro back in the day, that Pioneer. That was a big fucking deal. And I have this guy sitting next to me, and he's in the tech world. And he's like, it kind of looks like my TV. And he paid like nothing for it. And I'm like, he goes, no, don't get me wrong. He goes, if I go home and grab my TV and put it up next to yours, he goes, yes, I'm sure I would see a difference. But he goes, I don't see it. I don't know. And I'm like, that was like, that's kind of like the argument that's you have with people in the audience. That it's true. But like what Nib said, if we were to take two 27-inch monitors, the same monitors, and then hook up your, two very good monitors so they can handle what you're, and we played, Alan Wake 2, and we played Alan Wake 2 on a PS5 Pro. There's no doubt that everyone's going to say, I have no doubt they're going to say that Death Singer's PC looks better. Then they're going to say, do you know the diff? Now, this one I'm making the numbers up here. This one costs $700 and this one costs $2,600. Now, do you think this is still worth the same? And I think a lot of people who are non-gamers, we're just asking people to use their eyeballs, right? They'd be like, I would probably not pay that much more.
I think they'll throw money in your
face.
You know what I mean?
But then,
what?
But then again, it's like values in the eye of the beholder, right?
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, me and Nib agree with you. I'm just saying to you, like, that's why when PC people make the argument and you're speaking on podcast or you're speaking to the masses, unless it's legitimately only a PC catered, audience, it just everyone's ears bleed a little bit. They're like, I don't understand why they don't understand the discrepancy between.
And here's the thing, right? Like, we're talking about the extremities here, right? Alan Wake 2 and Cyberpunk, they're outliers.
Right.
They're not the typical. There's a lot of games that actually release and they run worse on freaking PC.
Right.
They literally have bugs or issues. You have to mod them.
Like the latest Batman game.
Stutter,
it didn't do well.
Monster to Wilds does that too, but that's down to the developers.
Right.
Not down
I'm not saying that.
No,
I'm just saying, there's actually a video of Alex, right, Battaglia. And it's so funny. It's such a funny video because you can just see the depression in his voice. And I feel bad for saying that. But he basically, in the video, he's wearing an orange t-shirt. He says, I give up. He goes, I can't keep testing PC games that are just plagued with these traversal and shader compilation stuff. And he goes, it just makes the whole experience miserable. And it doesn't matter what frame rate you're getting because it's the equivalent of basically having a really choppy frame rate. Right? He goes, it's like incessant traversal stutter in games and it keeps happening. He says in the video, I've got it on my Twitter already, but it was just so funny. And he says, there actually is not a single Unreal game he's played, Unreal Engine 5 game, which didn't suffer the issue. And I just thought, imagine spending thousands of pounds. I would throw my PC out the window that very second.
The thing is, I wouldn't. I wouldn't because there's a baseline expectation, and if anything, I'd be angry at the developers, and it's like they might be like, "Well, we work." I don't give a shit.
Oh, I agree with you there, Dessinger.
No, I agree. Obviously,
and the thing is, like, if I wanted to get your product for $3.99, I'd be validated in that. It's like, you don't give a shit about me one bit, and you will not optimize for the platform, so you don't deserve my time or money. And obviously, a lot of games suffer from lack of sales, but that's because it's like you see on Steam overwhelmingly negative. Like, they're telling you, the community is telling you, yo, piss off. And that was a huge problem with Capcom back in the day, because Capcom, they managed to salvage their reputation on PC because they brought it back. They made some great ports. Then Monster Hunter Wilds happened, and it's like, you just fucked it up again, didn't you, Capcom? It's like, they can't help themselves, right? Because Monster Hunter World was spectacular. Oh, Monster Hunter World was flawed. Everyone adored Capcom. And then Monster Hunter Wilds happened, and you're like, it is what it is. Different development teams, I guess. Because I guess the other team didn't get the memo.
No, I do agree with you. It's on the developing team for sure.
It's on the it's not on me. I have the hardware.
It's not on you. No.
It's
but the part that's upsetting is it's one thing when you get pissed off when you paid $500 for a PS5 or $700 for a PS5 Pro, and the game comes out and it's buggy and it's got problems, this and that. Then it's another thing when it has just bad PC performance or specific PC performance, and you're like, damn it, I paid 4x what the console guys are, and the console guys, you're telling me the console guys can actually play this game and I can't? Like, that's even more frustrating.
To me, it would be like buying. Imagine I bought like an S Class, right? A Mercedes S Class, even a Bentley. Say I bought a Bentayga or something like that. Obviously, I'm buying something super premium, much more premium. And then I go home, and in fact, I saw a funny video about it the other day. A dude, one of the big like car guys on YouTube, he bought his dad a Range Rover, fully stacked, right? Fully stacked. It was the autobiography, right? And, they have the reveal where they lift the thing off and he's like, Dad, you made all this possible, blah, blah, blah. It was really sweet and everything. And he bought his dad a freaking Range Rover. And I swear to God, he opens the front passenger and all you hear is like a creak. And then they open and close it. And they're like, wow, the quality, like the door literally doesn't even shut properly. So imagine spending £160,000 on a car and then the door doesn't even open.
Dude, I was going to say, I didn't see that video, but Range Rovers are the one thing. You have to have literally money to burn to buy a Range Rover because half the time it's in the shop. Those things are always broken. Like, they're beautiful. I love what they could be, but they never are. He goes, the doors.
So my brother-in-law, get this right. They bought a brand new. Because they buy a lot of cars for their his partner. They bought. They buy Caymans, Range Rover. They put it off a business expense. Apparently, they bought a brand new Range Rover, and obviously, like he's told the story. I just have to assume it's true. He said in the middle of friggin' London, Oxford Circus, the steering wheel came off his Range Rover. And everyone's honking him like,
it's not funny, but it doesn't surprise me.
He opens his window and he pulls out the steering wheel from the window. He's like, what the fuck do you want me to do?
You want me to do with this?
And in fact, because it's a law firm, they did a lot for them. Like, they wanted to avoid getting sued and all the rest of it. So they didn't, take it further. They must have done a hell of a lot. Imagine making a mistake like that with a friggin' law firm, a big one in London as well.
That's insane.
But I just remember thinking, that's insane.
It is crazy. I'm glad you said that because as you were telling the Range Rovers, I'm like, everyone tells me do not ever buy a Range Rover. It's literally in the shop more than I do. Well, I remember I asked a guy, I'm like, yo, how's the Range Rover? Like, I don't know. Ask the guy who's the manager of the shop because he drives it more than I do. He said something like that. I was like, holy shit. All right, guys. Listen, I'm enjoying this conversation. That's I
have to address.
You can object. You can adjust one thing. I got to wrap up after that because I definitely need to. I'm telling you, this freaking sinus infection is killing me. But no, go ahead, buddy.
So I did the chat say, was the developer responsible for making a game work properly on the PC you built? The thing is, it's developer's responsibility to optimize the game. All you have to do is optimize it at a baseline, and then I can go into the settings and I can manually adjust the settings. See, any good game on PC, it starts off at a baseline. So even if the baseline's the console, right? Like Alan Wake 2 runs fantastic on PC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you as soon as you buy the game, it probably comes out at like normal settings. It's being calibrated, right?
Right.
And then I could go into the settings, turn it on ultra, ray tracing, ultra, this, ultra, that, turn DLS on to performance, set the resolution, and then off I go into the game and I'm having a fantastic experience, right? It's the thing is, some developers, and Unreal Engine 5 is a troubled child engine, even on console. But Unreal Engine, as soon as the developer says, "Oh, our game's on Unreal Engine 5," I immediately look at you like, "That's gonna run like a piece of shit." And also, developers think we're stupid because shout out to 007 First Light devs when they put out their PC specs, and they put out their PC spec sheet. For one, they listed a CPU that doesn't exist on the minimum specs. And then on the recommended specs, they put a graphics card on there, which is only 8 gigabytes, and they recommend 12 gigabytes of VRAM. And I'm like...
There is a 12 gigabyte version. I agree.
No, the TI isn't. It's the base one that is the 12 gigabyte. But they put the TI on there, and I'm like, how you must think we're absolutely stupid, or... It's like developers are just like super fucking lazy right now. And if they get if their game bombs, I'm sorry, you probably deserve it because you couldn't give 2 rats ass, so I couldn't give 2 rats ass about you. It is what it is. But it's like you blatantly just lied on your PC spec sheets, and this is your official PC spec sheets. A CPU that doesn't even exist, and I found it hilarious when people were like, "Wait, this CPU doesn't even exist. Like, what are we doing?"
Look, I get what you're saying, and I agree. Obviously, it is the developer's fault. However, if you, despite all the money you've spent, you're still basically being treated like a second-class citizen. Why would you invest in that? I'm not saying, obviously, there's plenty of reasons why you would invest in that platform or whatever. But the value proposition keeps diminishing, right? Because you're literally admitting that a lot of developers, studios, they treat these ports lesser, right? And they don't pay it the same attention or time or duty of care and optimization. And to me, that's like more reason. I get it, it's the developer's fault, but it's still the reality of the situation. Right? So for me, who just wants, pick up and play, problem-free, hassle-free. I've got enough shit, taking up my time, even now on this podcast, sorry, I know I'm admitting it again. I've been on friggin' KCD2 the whole time, right? So even I'm multitasking here, do you know what I mean?
You're Nib, I got other shit going on, like my fucking steering wheel falling right off my goddamn car when I'm
you know what I mean?
I know that wasn't you.
Last thing I want to do is worry about these problems, especially after having spent.
I actually agree with Nib on that point. But the thing is, the majority of devs actually get the game running fine, right? It's only the outliers, and it's always the outliers, and the outliers that are always it's either an Unreal Engine 5 game. That's a common denominator between all the games.
Or Capcom, you're saying?
No. It's just the odd game. Like the vast majority of Capcom, like the Resident Evil games, they're on the same engine. They run fine.
They do. They run fine, yes.
But this must Monster Hunter Worlds must just be an outlier. There was in Q&A or something. Someone was probably drunk on the shift and forgot to test something, QA testers, shout out to you. So someone forgot something, didn't report something, or maybe it was overlooked. Because it's like, for RE Engine games, because they're not an Unreal Engine 5, and most of our, Resident Evil games ran well. Dragon's Dogma 2 had some kind of issues, but not like Monster Hunter Wilds. So someone skipped the steps. Someone did some negligence. But it's like, for the vast majority of games, that they run perfectly fine. The only
what's the most popular multi-platform engine?
Unreal Engine. Everyone knows Unreal Engine 5 is a pile of dog shit, even on console.
So you should say the most popular engine. I think I read there's 1,800 games or development. So you're saying that the most popular engine has problems.
Are they still making games for UE4 or no? They've totally moved on to 5.
I don't think so. I think they probably is.
Shout out to Babor. Babor says, remember, SIE have an industry-leading engines and devs. Shout out to Babor. And also the Gaming Ledger. You know, it's funny he says this because I never even asked that singer this, or if I did, it was a long time ago, so I don't remember his answer. But Gaming Ledger says, gaming isn't only visuals. He says, PC's power narrative leans on frame gen that feels like cloud gaming. PS5's audio plus DualSense feel premium out of the box. Now, the one thing I got to say, even when I'm gaming on PC, that singer, I tried it on a couple of games, man. That boat has sailed. I'm not going to be playing on keyboard and mouse. Like with Ark, I will go between controller and the mouse for inventory because it's a lot faster to go through on inventory while I have time between rounds. But like I use my DualSense Edge on the PC, and I got to tell you, man, that is that singer's having a hard time with his USB. He just wrote me. But when it comes to it, Nib, I use the DualSense Edge on PC gaming and on, of course, with PlayStation. Like that controller has changed everything. Like to the point where it feels so premium, and the way that it's so silent. And honestly, so I came very close to. I mean, I could play it on PC. I have it on PC, but I almost bought it again on PS5. I told you I was going to do that over the holiday, but I didn't realize I was going to like Ark as much as I did. I wanted to play Expedition 33 on PS5 Pro with the Edge controller versus when I played it on the Xbox with the Xbox vibration. It felt like going to the electric chair. So it was like the worst experience I've ever had. And I know that they're saying that the Xbox is supposed to be coming out with their version of haptics this year, but I don't know if they will.
That was supposed to be actually earlier in the gen.
It was, but now they're saying that it's a rumor. It's completely a rumor. There's nothing that backs it up. They were saying new. Remember, I don't know if you saw the article that came out today. I don't know if it was Pure Xbox or whoever. Somebody put it out. They're like new Xbox hardware, and it was clickbait because everyone was like, "Oh, the new console's coming out in 2026," and like the first sentence when you open it up says, "Not the console, but new hardware." Rumors that the new Xbox version 3 Elite controller is going to come out. They need a controller. I mean, they need one bad.
Yeah, they do. They do. Like it's honestly, I know people listening, the Xbox guys, they go, "Oh, you fanboys, whatever." But like, this is your primary input and device to control the games you're playing, right?
Yeah.
And look, when you play it, the level of immersion difference, it makes a difference, man. It makes a difference,
a massive difference.
It is massive. I remember because I played Control, right? I played Control on what platform? Point is, they had the special version of it that was done up for the next gen consoles.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had it on PS Plus or something. So I was like, you know what, I really like Control. Let me play it again.
Yep.
So I played Control again, and this time it had the full sense. And I'm telling you, chef's kiss.
It really is,
because I'd already played this game, but it made such a difference. Like rain, footsteps, every weapon when it transformed. You can feel it in your triggers.
The rumble, but the rumble is they've figured out how to make the rumble subtle when it needs to be subtle, and then intense when it needs to be intense, and it also doesn't sound like a piece of junk in your hand. You know what I mean? It's not as so if you're wearing headphones or you're not, it doesn't rumble to the point where it sounds like it's going to self-destruct in 5 seconds. Do you know what I mean? Like it's unbelievable. And shout out to Worry War. You guys, I don't know if you guys remember Worry podcasted with us a long time ago back in the day. Worry earlier in the generation when people were still calling the DualSense a gimmick. Remember, like, oh, no one's going to use it. Now they literally every third-party developer uses it just about. I mean, come on. I haven't found one where I haven't been happily impressed with how they've utilized the DualSense. But he would write me and he'd go, "Hey, he goes, before I make my purchase on Xbox or PlayStation, he's like, I was just wondering, is there any DualSense, and I would look it up and I would send it over to him, or he'd look it up and send it to me, and he'd be like, yep, I'm definitely buying this on. He would literally make his purchases dependent on if the DualSense had immersive qualities enhanced on it. He goes, I'm buying it on PlayStation then because I want that. And like that's something that became, like you say, it is a premium feeling product. It is a premium experience, and you will play the game. The game will feel different for you. That's a big difference.
I mean, I know I've said this on this show before, but again, like when I bought these 2 next gen consoles, right, and my house, I had all my cousins around, which I do every time. Gamer, the core gamer in the family, right? So if they want to buy something, they come and experience it first in my place, right? How was how are these headphones? How is this console? How is this OLED or whatever it is? Right? They come here then. And we usually get takeaway.
I'm buying a house next to Nib just for the same reason. You guys don't realize it. Like,
we will literally just game it out night, and they'll stay the night. They won't stay the night, but they'll usually. So I had the. And don't get me wrong. Like, the thing is, I didn't even have anything to show them because I bought Valhalla for Xbox, thinking that the Xbox version would be superior. I watched the Digital Foundry video. And then I ended up going to frigging Curry's and swapping my sealed copy for a PS5 copy. Because Valhalla ran better on PS5. So the only game I really had was it Yakuza Like a Dragon, I think it was. Which it doesn't really look great. No. It doesn't look all that.
No, that's not a
stunner. And then same UI, same clickety-clackety, and it's kind of almost like I should have known back then that this generation might go a certain way because I could feel the enthusiasm in. Yeah, all right. What have you got? Like Halo or something crazy? No. Okay, fine. And then so I think the only showpiece thing was Gears of War, which is game obviously Gears of War 5. And then switch over to PS5. I had Demon Souls, which looked insane. Then I had Miles Morales, which obviously is a crowd pleaser. Everyone fucking loves Spider-Man. Do you know what I mean? And powers and electric powers, and Miles Morales and all this. And then weirdly, the thing that got the most attention, everyone was fucking bragging on it, which was hilarious, was Astro's Playroom.
Astro's Playroom was phenomenal.
When the rain and the materials, and everyone's passing around this controller
I don't think that was just for the consumers to see what that DualSense could do. I think that Sony did that being all of our all the third-party devs that have our kit, they're going to see what we did with this and go, wait a minute, we could really use this in our game. You know what I mean? It played both ways. I mean, yes, of course, I think the customer was impressed to feel raindrops the way raindrops fell. And when you were running through the tall grass, how it kind of fluttered into your fingertips. It was crazy. And they really were able to do things that get you more immersed into the game, especially GT7. Being able to feel the car is way, way different. Just some amazing things they were able to do with it. Shout out to the Gaming Ledger even says, baby steps with the DualSense is an incredibly immersive experience.
Yeah. GT7 is a great example, right?
Yeah.
I actually have a T300 RS set up. I have the play seat, you name it, right? I've got the friggin' manual gear shifter, all of that, right? And keep in mind the way I drive in life with the paddle shift. I drive crazy, so I think I would be hooked on the steering wheel setup, right?
Yes.
But I'm telling you that DualSense, 50-50, 50% of my time was on that bloody DualSense, because even though it was not the match to nowhere near the match to the steering wheel, there was still a novelty about the DualSense that gave it a little spark. I could feel every gear shift in my triggers. I could feel the different types of surfaces under my hand, like tarmac, gravel, this, that. And there's something so fucking amazing about that, especially when you stick in a turbo and whatever in your car, or you got your RX-7 or Supra or whatever maxed out.
Yes.
Every gear shift is punchy in the hand. You're just, do you know what?
Yes.
I need that. That's the only reason for me now. I really want the haptic steering wheel. It's £1,000. I was going to get a Fanatec. I was going to get something a bit more fancy. But do you know what? I need that haptic now. I can't It's not just the.
That's the thing. It went from this may be a gimmick to I can't play without it. It went from it may be a gimmick to a necessity to have. Very, very interesting. Right? Few products in our history do you remember that way, right? I mean, I guess I would almost say I think I'm stretching a bit here, but if you were to go to an unbelievable brand new LG OLED, the G, I think the G is it the G6 that's out this year? The G6 comes out this year, right? So the G6 is out, and it's and then you're no, I'm okay with my LED, that I got, it's no, man, no, you can't go from the G6 to an LED, technology of 10 years. It's just one of the, and maybe, some people might go, I don't give a shit. That's fine. But I think even in gaming, like I even switched to a gaming, like the monitor I have a 32-inch OLED. I got the Asus OLED, and like it's just night and day. It's night and day. Like it's unbelievable.
I think also like, obviously we're enthusiast gamers, right? The predominant amount of games that we play, well, are not like regular per se, but like our favorite games or the games we, the volume of games we play are single player, right? Yes, we may, the go-to like kind of like a reliable game might be multiplayer, but by and large we're switching between single player games. Single player games, especially, that kind of immersive stuff is so much more. It connects you to the world. It connects you to your actions, your inputs, and everything around you. Like even now, I'm thinking like fucking Wolverine. And can you imagine when you're slicing people up and it's going to feel amazing in that controller?
It's going to be insane.
It's going to be so crunchy, and all the speaker sound is going to have like
honestly, that's a great word. It is going to be crunchy. Yeah. It is. When you feel, I think, the blades going through someone's skull in Wolverine, it's going to feel crunchy. You're not wrong.
Yeah, and it's like reminds me of Demon Souls. Favorite the backstab in Demon Souls?
Yes.
Because besides the rumble and everything, it's also the sound in controllers. And it just feels so powerful.
It does. And you know what's funny? We even had, shout out to Wooly Gamer. Wooly Gamer was on the show about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And he was waiting for his headset to arrive, and I said, I didn't know that. I knew it was on the way. And so I said, oh, Wooly, I said, you sound pretty good. This was before the show. I said, you sound pretty good. And he goes, do I, mate? He goes, I sound good. I go, yeah. I go, did you get your new headset? He goes, no. He goes, I'm actually talking to you through the PlayStation controller.
And so am I. I'm talking through the PlayStation controller.
Are you really?
Like every single show I've done of you. Maybe the last, I don't know. I've been using my DualSense.
Now, don't get me wrong. I will say, Nib, and we've said this to you. Every once in a while, you do cut out, but it's not. Okay. But still, that's not. I'm not making a slight. I'm just telling you, you sound very good. Like that's impressive. But I mean, it's not. It's you. I'm sure you have a phenomenal headset you could attach if you wanted to. I know you do. But I mean,
I wouldn't say. The thing is, I'm not. Go back, right? The early shows I did of yours.
Yeah.
I swear to God, they don't sound as clear as mine.
Well, I
use an audio Steve Maxwell. Go and listen to those early ones, Ericsson now. Yes, obviously this is not perfect, but I actually.
So wait, is my voice in the show? Are you wearing a headset?
No. So it's coming out of my controller.
So our voices are coming out of the controller, and you're speaking into it. This is how you're doing this. That's amazing.
And the reason it can do that is because a lot of people don't realize, and this is one of the reasons I think. Like, again, it's going to sound console war, but Microsoft's controller is so badly overpriced. Because I don't think a lot of people realize how much technology. The reason it can do that is because it literally has a sound card. It has which one it is. It's the audio chip you get in a lot of phones. So that audio chip can actually has some degree of analog digital conversion and has noise cancellation built in. So
yes, it does.
It's not a throwaway sound chip. Like they actually had to put something decent in there. Same with the lithium-ion battery. I get it. It doesn't get the best battery life, but it is still a high-capacity battery, right? Especially for the money. And then you've got the touchpad. You've got the bloody, the state-of-the-art friggin' haptic motors, which if you see them in comparison to like the Switches or even the Switch 2s, it's a friggin' night and day, dude. These are like proper next-gen. I forgot what they're called. I've got the... And then you've got the adaptive triggers and all this other shit, light bar, mic, speaker. Like it's crazy. It's a lot. Like they pack in there.
It is amazing. I mean, and everything you said, I remember when they did their play-by-play and they discussed what was going into the controller. But DJ Marsh, he goes, wow, Nib. He goes, I cut out in party chats if I only use controller, no headphones. knowing you use it for the podcast is hilarious, and understanding best Sony audio interface. That is quite. I got to be honest with you guys. I knew Wooly was doing it the past couple of episodes, and honestly, I thought Wooly sounded fine, very good. I didn't realize you were also using the controller for these.
How I play. You know, when I'm playing like
you said you're playing Blueprints. Yes,
I'm literally playing the game at the same time.
Yeah, that's
speaking to you.
I'm not going to lie to you. That is wild. That's wild.
Yeah, it's probably cool. Like, it's just so convenient.
Well, see, you learn something new every day on CrossFire, folks. Speaking of that, but Nib, I am gonna end the show at 3 hours and 20 minutes. I told you 2 hours. Yeah, cool. Apparently, I'm really bad at tracking time. But I appreciate you, Nib, as always. You're fantastic. Yeah, cool. We had a great chat. Actually, I got to be honest with you. Tonight was a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie to you. First episode back, not a ton of news. There's stuff coming out. Games are coming out. Some news is happening. I see even Lady Games 1980 in the chat. She says, Mooch, more layoffs coming from Microsoft. I had that in the topic, but, we're going to wait to see if that's actually something, because there's a lot of people saying that those reports are not true. So when that instance happens or doesn't happen, there's going to be somebody who's going to have a little egg on their face there, but we'll figure that out when that comes through.
I did want to say,
go ahead, Nib.
This is just a bit of not breaking news, a few hours.
Sure.
So Rockstar has actually fired like over a dozen people over these leaks. They've straight up fired.
They fired them over which the leaks that Jason's reporting?
It's two separate leaks. Jason's one, and there's a bunch of leaks about the game, details on the game.
Oh.
And apparently they tracked down where the leaks emanated from, including to Jason, and some leaks that were given to him earlier in the year as well, and they fired everyone.
Oh, wow.
They put out a statement as well, confirming it.
To be honest with you, these companies have to kind of put their foot down, right? They are signing NDAs, right? So your job is on the hook. And then, you're lucky if that's all they do. I think some of these NDAs, they can go after you for even financial.
I was going to say, if their share price drops by $4 because of these, that's like, tantamount to hundreds of millions, whatever.
It's a lot of money. A lot of money.
Dude, that's crazy. Like, I bet Jason Schreier's feeling pretty bad right now.
I think he's fine. He doesn't care.
Yeah, but they're going to be people he had.
There's going to be people really going to have a problem there. That's interesting news breaking. I wish we kind of heard that when we were talking about the GTA stuff. That would have been a little bit more interesting. Well, you know what? Honestly, we can even bring it up next week. We'll see how next week's news kind of shatters and see what happens.
We need the show after the developer direct will be really cool. Will be really interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah. Is January 22nd a Thursday?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Is it really? Hold on a second. It's funny. Whenever Mooch moves his podcast, that's when everybody does things. It is a Thursday. Yeah. We'll do it right after it.
It is a Thursday.
We'll go right. Yeah. I think we should go right after it. Let me see. Yeah, when does it? Do you know when it airs?
6 p.m. UK time.
So it's a little bit early.
Your show will be 6 hours. Your show will be about 4 hours after it finishes. 5 hours.
Right. So, 6 p.m. UK is 1 p.m. here. So it'll finish at 2 here in New York. I won't be able to start till, I can start earlier, but I wouldn't be able to start at 2 p.m. Not home at that point. But, we'll work something at 1 p.m. Yeah, Marico says 1 p.m. ish. Yeah. Well, regardless, if we don't go right after, we're going to be that night. And believe me, there's going to be a lot to talk about. So, Nib, that sounds awesome. Well, we got next week's show too. We got a show between that. But yeah, we'll discuss it. We'll let you guys know. Heck, if I can be home for it, I'll even see if Nib we can do a live one if I'm home. I don't know. I'm not home on Thursday at 1:00 in the afternoon, which is another thing.
Down for that.
That's an odd time. It's nice for the UK. Yeah. 6 p.m. is a very good time for the UK. That's not a great time for the US.
It will be really interesting because historically, in-engine versus gameplay hasn't worked out so well for Xbox. There's usually been whether it's Forza Motorsport, Halo Infinite, etc.
Mm-hmm.
The actual gamers end up I have faith in playground games. I think, hopefully, I'm not wrong.
No, I do too.
A lot of people have been calling me out on this, but I have a feeling it's going to be a real looker.
I think it's going to look phenomenal. The question is it going to be, fun?
Yeah.
That's where I'm leaving my question mark. I think it'll look great. It'll probably run fantastic, but will it be fun? I've never been a Fable fan, so I'm kind of going in not fair. So I'm not going to go ahead and bash it because I don't like it, but I will give it a shot. I've never really liked the Fable games as much as others. But
let me tell you, Mooch, no one will be happier if I can say Xbox, first party game or exclusive, even better. It is in my top game of the year list, or even my game of the year. Trust me, that would be friggin' a beautiful moment, because this is what I've been waiting for so many years.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. I did not know that. Yeah. Okay. I'm shocked to hear you say that, but I'll say this much. Even though you're anticipating it, I would be amazed with this year's lineup if that's in your top 3.
I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe top 5.
Maybe I put too much faith in Fable.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. If you love the series, I understand you're walking in with the other side of the bias than I am, and it's like that's fine. By the way, that's not wrong.
I'll tell you where. Like again, I don't know, because some of the combat does look a bit bland. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit like bare bones. But the thing I do love, the art direction, the graphics, the world, the characterization, the wit. The whole running through the giant scene, and they had the comedian, I forgot his name. He's like a really funny guy, and I just can't. Even the fact that they got him to be one of the characters in the game is like tick 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 tick. So I feel like they understand the vibes and the culture of the game, which fills me with hope, right? Like even in these short clips, that it's very entertaining.
Yes.
So if they can carry that through to like a big, because Fables aren't as like extensive as like these other Western RPGs. They're a bit more tight and well paced.
Right.
But if they can get that level of like production and excitement and everything into an RPG, it will be like made for me.
No, if everything you just spelled out happens, it may make it for me as well. So I think the developer direct is going to be very telling, especially if it's a deep dive. That means they're probably going to have a good 10 minutes of gameplay, at least, maybe 15.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope it blows my fucking.
I do too. I think it's going to be very telling on January 22nd. Speaking of that, I'll do a couple of shout outs real quick to the guys that had to leave. Shout out to D-Batch. He had a bounce earlier, but shout out to D. It's D_Batch. Go over and check out D-Batch on X. Mag, it's middle-aged game guy. You guys know Mag very, very well. I feel bad Slow-Mo couldn't make it. Hopefully he can join us next week. That's Slow-Mo Backslap everywhere. Go over and check him out as well. And we had Death Singer who had a bounce. He goes, I have to take care of Mooch. I'm sorry. I got to go. I said, no problem, buddy. You've been here for 3.5 hours. Shout out to Death Singer. We'll see him next week as well. We had a really, really outstanding show tonight. I got to be honest with you. It was really, really a lot of fun. Appreciate everybody. Nib, fantastic as always to have you here with us, buddy. You're very entertaining and very knowledgeable. That's what people need to know about Nib, okay? Absolutely, 100%. Guys, go over and follow Nib. It's at Nib95_. Nib, I'm looking forward to next week already, buddy. I have to. And let's keep in touch. And honestly, if you're down for a little Battlefield tomorrow, just hit me up on X. Let me know.
100%.
Because I'm down from any time after about 3 o'clock on my time. So it'll be 8 o'clock your time. As long as you're up for it, I'm here.
Mooch, you need to do one thing, right? Try and somehow get Death Singer on a live stream with these games, so we can see how he plays these games and he uses.
I will consider that. I will consider that a life challenge, because I don't think I'll ever get him to do it.
Imagine, we'll be shocked.
I even asked him. I even asked him to do an on-camera podcast. He was like, "No." I was like, "Okay, all right." I was like, "I guess that's out."
His cyberpunk character is some skimpy ass. He's probably going on about path tracing because he wants to see the lighting on the jiggle back.
I like in the beginning of the show, your team's talking about this and this and this, and you're like, "And the physics." And he was like, "What? Oh, no, of course not, we will try that. That'll be our goal for 2026 is to get that Singer on a live stream game playing. That would be fantastic. Guys, please do me a favor, hit the like button on the way out. Thank you guys for all the super chats. I appreciate it. We'll be back next week. Guys, I'll also be live Saturday morning. We're going to be doing some Battlefield 6, some Ark Raiders as well. And then I think on Monday over on Twitch, we're going to be starting. I'm going to talk to the guys, Dying Light, The Beast. I'd like to get that started before we get into any more multiplayer stuff. But guys, please go over on twitch.tv. It's Mooch TV. Same thing here. M00CHTV everywhere. Go over and hit a follow for Mooch over there. We'll see you guys Saturday morning and next Thursday here on CrossFire. Peace out and good night. Enjoy your night.
Thanks, everyone.